It's time for the Larry H. Miller Utah Summer Games at Southern Utah University in Cedar City. Register today to participate in the 40th anniversary season of a Utah sports tradition at utahsummergames.org. Participate in over 50 sports around the state. Then plan to join the opening ceremonies Friday, June 5th, presented by State Bank of Southern Utah. Register today to participate in the 40th anniversary season of the Larry H. Miller Utah Summer Games.
Hey, it's 10 a.m. and this is Utah's best sports radio.
Say my name.
You're locked on to Scotty G and the coach, Tim LaComb, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Let's wake up some neighbors. Timmy, how are you?
Waking up the neighbors. It's Friday, man. I don't know, I'm at a different level on Friday. The lights are a little less bright.
See, I like the mood lighting a little bit more in here.
No, I ain't gonna do that.
Oh no.
I'm just saying Friday changes my latitude. You know, I've fallen into that same trap as everybody else.
So, the grind.
The grind, not 9 to 5 anymore. 10 to 2, baby.
10 to 2, 4 and out the door.
And I love that with all my heart.
This has been a blast, by the way. Got a lot of good feedback.
Well, I'm grateful for that because
it's not about me, it's about you. Like, wow, we thought there was going to be a massive drop-off, and there was there for about 3 months, and then Timmy came in and saved it.
Well, stay tuned because, consistency's the ever the ever-moving target.
All right, so we got a fun show. It's Friday. We try to, whatever hair we have left, we try to let back. Although Coach is rocking a great head of hair.
I don't know. I'm kind of, I'm starting to show my age, some peaks and valleys.
If only you knew somebody who could help you out with that. Give you some advice.
Anybody got a hair guy?
Oh, man, I would. Okay, all right, I will be completely honest. Like, we used to joke about our guy, and he'd say, I want my faith in humanity restored. And then that usually meant somebody would give him something for free.
Usually.
That was that's back in the day when things are a little fast and loose. Now we're buttoned up around here. But I've never been the, hey, where's my faith in humanity? I need it restored. But you know what? If you are a hair clinic place and you need to advertise, I got you. Although I don't know if they can go the whole thing. Like, I think, they want the widow peaks or maybe the little back spot. But when I'm like, no, I want the full Monty, man. Let's go. I don't know if they can pull that off.
I didn't plan to tell this story today, but it's a beauty. And it's Friday, so
yes.
I'm going to tell it because it goes right hand in hand with the hair thing. Good buddy of mine in high school, his father was follically challenged, but we never really knew that because, he got that taken care of.
Did he get a piece or a weave?
No, he got a piece.
Okay.
This is back in the day of the piece. And so, they're in the summertime, he had a different accessory that would look as though he put a little sun in it, showed that the sun. So all year round, So we were going down to St. George for spring break, and we were going to take this kid's car. And his dad wanted to come out and make sure the car was in serviceable and workable condition to go to St. George from Utah County. So he walked out and, popped the hood and commenced to look over the hood.
Got caught.
And if you're streaming it, you'll be able to see this better. But basically imagine a guy standing over a hood and he drops his head. Well, the tape job in the back came undone. And so as he turned his head, it was hanging parallel or perpendicular. And then he would stand up and it would go back in place. And we were all over there just trying to, because if we laughed, it would be awful.
Yes.
And spring break was on the line.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to
offend the guy.
Yeah, he's going to take away the car.
And that was our way there.
Yeah.
So it was one of the harder things to do, was to not laugh. But as he stood up and went down 4 or 5 times, it was like a movie scene. The wig, the hair just kept, and then back up.
Did you know beforehand that he was rocking the piece?
Yes, at that point we knew.
Yeah.
We knew at that point, but it was still startling to see it come undone like that.
Yeah. My dad flirted with that for a little bit. And it's
piece?
like, yeah. And it's like, when you get that though, like the amount of work that goes into it, the juice isn't worth the squeeze on that.
No, I can't. And honestly, I haven't. I don't know. I feel bad because it's not necessarily something I've dealt with. But I just like the fact, like you just lean into it, dude.
I went high and tight, the last one. That's where I'm going now. I used to have like the Friar Tuck sides. Now I'm just like, let's just.
I knew I used to love that look.
Yeah.
You could have been the Padres mascot.
That's a
good pull.
Yeah, that is a good pull. Better than like Bozo the Clown or something like that. But I was meeting with Keith Embray. He's now up at the University of Utah, does some great work for them in their athletic department. And he's like, "What's up, Friar Tuck?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay, all right, we got to go do something about this then."
Oh,
yeah.
To the monastery barber.
Yeah. All right, okay, by the way, Tony Jones is going to join us coming up at 11:05. One of our favorites. I know you and TJ go way back. Have you had a chance to ever evaluate his game, though? Because he talks a big game on Twitter.
No, I will say he knows the game.
He knows the game very well.
Love talking the game with him. I've never had the occasion of being in the 24-hour fitness or wherever he balls out. I've heard, the guy's got game. I'm certainly not going to discredit it without having seen it. I do know that I got to know him from a distance, and I love the guy. He does a great job of everything he does, so it'll be fun to have him on.
And I love when he gets angry on Twitter. Like, that dude fights anybody on Twitter.
He does not back down.
No. Also, let's see here. We got Randy Bennett. How about that? The new coach of Arizona State on the show today at 12:05.
Yeah, I hadn't heard from him in a bit, with the health issue. And so we got off the show yesterday up there at Minky, which was, gosh dang, how great was that?
Oh, that was fun.
Those people are great. Had such a good time. And it looked like they sold a lot of blankets, too, from my vantage point. There were a lot of our listeners that came in. But I was driving home. I called and just to check on Coach. And he didn't know because he's been down and, been dealing with a few things. So I told him about the show. I said, I finally got that show with that legendary broadcaster out of the state of Utah. One Scott Garrard, and he was like, "No way, you got Garrard."
Oh, okay. You mean out of the state of Idaho?
Yeah. Well,
he's Idaho,
but his broadcasting award was here.
Yeah.
This is true.
He wasn't knocking anything dead in Declo.
No.
Well, from a broadcasting perspective.
Okay.
So, yeah, I just said, "Hey, you need to come on the show sometime," and he said, "Well, you got one tomorrow?" I said, yeah. He said, all right, I'll come on tomorrow.
There we go. I love it. Do you think that he knows that he was a figure of somewhat of some angst here in the state of Utah? Like, I think BYU fans really enjoyed not liking Randy Bennett. And now that they get to go against him again in the Big 12, I think there's a little bit of you love to hate that guy.
Yeah, I want to ask him about it.
Yeah.
Actually, that's something I want to ask him about because, yeah, people do not like him. Most people that know I'm friends with him are like, oh, what? But again, it's the difference between being kind of in the game for a long time and having been a fan of the game for a long time. There's just more relationships inside that it doesn't matter what logo you wear.
Yeah.
Right.
Stu Morrill had an assistant, and he did some color commentating with me on the radio, Lance Beckert.
Yeah, I know Lance really well.
And Lance swears by Randy Bennett. Says he's one of the best dudes on the planet. And it's funny because you have this image of your mind on who a guy is based on how he acts on the sideline or the reputation he gets. And then I hear you say, oh, he's an awesome dude. And then Lance says, oh, he's a great guy. And it's like, well, wait a minute. That doesn't go along with the narrative that's out there. But
yeah, it's just I think he's been so good.
Yeah.
I mean, his time at St. Mary's, he won 589 games. Inherited a program much like Steve Cleveland at BYU. They'd only won a game prior to him getting there. So just an amazing story, amazing guy. And he's going home, which is cool. He's going back to Arizona. It's where he grew up. So, yeah, we'll get in and ask him some cool questions. And if anybody has any questions that aren't, hate-filled, you can tweet them at us, and we'll ask those too.
Yeah, there you go. Again, keep them clean, and we'll ask. Also, the great Craig Bolerjack's going to stop by. Not just on the phone. No, he's going to actually come in studio and hang out with us. Coming up at 1:05.
Man, the word must be getting out.
Word's
right?
getting out. This is where you want to be.
It's good.
Where you want to hang out. So let's get to it. Starting a lineup right now. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It's time to kick off the show with the biggest headlines of the day. This is your starting lineup on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
So earlier this morning, I was on with DJ, and we were talking about the BYU-Utah game and the Vegas tournament that's the Players' Era tournament. We hit on a bunch of topics, and then he said, what are you and Tim going to talk about? And I was thinking about this last night, and I thought I'd throw it out there with DJ, and of course then DJ owns it and then puts it out on Twitter. I'm just kidding.
DJ, man, he's looking for a scoop.
Yeah. No. Look, he took ownership of that and ran with it. All right. So I told him that I thought if we were to set the number at total games needed for the Oklahoma City Thunder that they will play this offseason, I think we all agree that they're probably going to win an NBA title. And I took it a step further. I say not only will they win an NBA title, they'll do it in less than 20 games. And I set the line at 19.5. And I'm taking the under. DJ took the over. Amount of games that Oklahoma City will play in this postseason en route to an NBA title.
So they've played 4. I think this is going to be more than 4 here. I think we're going to go gentlemen, even though the Lakers looked crappy last night. These series ebb and flow.
Yeah.
And going to one place or the other. We saw it with Minnesota in Game 2. It's like they felt like they'd got done what they needed to. So I think that first series 4, this series
they're already up 2-0.
They're up 2-0. That's going to go 5.
Okay.
And then I see them having to go. I assume it's going to be the Spurs. I see it going at least 6. And then I believe that even the Knicks could push them to 5 or 6.
So you're going way over. All right. So I think they will sweep the Lakers. I think that they will need 2 against San Antonio and then 1 in the NBA Finals. So that's my 3.
So you're going to be that's
taking my under. That's right at 19.
It. No, that's good. I mean, and you know what? It could totally happen.
Oh yeah.
I just think I'm watching them play. And last night it was they don't typically play with their food, but I felt like last night they kind of did.
Yeah, they did.
And we got to get to JJ Redick and the complaining. We'll get there, I know. But the bottom line is they dispatched them very quickly when they needed to. I just feel like the Spurs are going to be a little bit tougher challenge, and they've shown that this season. And then you get to the finals, and if it's New York or Detroit, I mean, you kind of can see how Detroit could bully and cause some problems. But we'll see. I'm glad you took the other side. I'm glad we actually disagree on something for once.
I know. Usually you and I are spot on this, but I think that, and again, last night you could say, well, it was a close game, but I took that as they were bored. Like they looked and played bored in that game. And, that might work in your favor where they don't necessarily care. But I also think that the fact that they won that game in a game they didn't play particularly well and they got under the skin of the Lakers, I think the Lakers mentally are just in a bad place. When you've got them circling up against the officials at midcourt and you got Austin Reeves losing his mind. Now, yeah, was it a bad call on the 3? Yeah, absolutely. But still, it's in their head now.
Well, the clip of LeBron standing behind Austin nodding that's already going to be out there, right? Because as someone stands there, what do you say?
Go get him.
I bet he went over to Austin and he's like, hey, I can't do it because of my status in the league, but can you go grab the officials and circle them up and just tell them that I'm not happy?
How many times would officials even do that, though?
I've never seen them stop.
Usually those guys are off the court immediately.
Got their satin jacket. And they're bolting for the exits. I know because I chased one time. Not in the NBA, but in high school.
Not in college either.
Not in college. No, that wouldn't have lasted. High school, chased a guy all the way to the door. You can read about it in the Deseret News. I think Amy Donaldson wrote the article.
Oh, Amy got you, huh?
No, but rightfully so. I was 100% out of line.
Yeah.
Just a little caught up in the moment.
Hey, you know what? It happens to the best of us. Like, I almost got thrown out of my kid's flag football game once, and I was the coach. And this little pimple-faced dork, young man, was
man.
That's a hold, mister.
Exactly.
He got him by the T-shirt.
Give those kids a break. Come on.
An inadvertent whistle cost us a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, I am saying rec league, but high school is no different.
And I was very, very upset. And so I expressed my displeasure.
You sent him a terse email?
We had a terse conversation about needing to know the rules, the basic rules of the sport, and that he had no knowledge of that. And I expressed that in a way that may have been a bit inflammatory. And he said, sir, I appreciate your feedback, but I'm going to ask you to leave if you say one more thing.
Hey, son, if you'd like to learn the rules, how about you listen from 10 to 2?
Yes.
We'll teach you.
The perfect comeback would have been like, all right, well, you need to trim your eyebrows and pop that white head on your left cheek. And that would have really got him.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to go personal on the referees, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. All right, so you know that officials are human, though, and I wonder if the fact that you've got some stars. So you got Boston complaining, you got Donovan Mitchell complaining, now you got the Lakers. Those are three big names and two big franchises that are now really cranky at the officials. I wonder if this leads to anything.
I can't imagine. Honestly, to me, if you just go back, it's almost every couple of years, like rinse and repeat, you know.
Yeah.
It's just a cycle. And when a team loses a game, I mean, J.J. Redick, he might have got on there and said one of the most inane things I've ever heard in my life, which we're going to use the sound. Yeah. You can decide when we use it.
Yeah, let's go to it. Here he is after that game last night, J.J. Redick.
Of any star player I've ever seen. I mean, I've been with him 2 years now. Again, the smaller guys, because they can be theatric, they typically draw more fouls, and the bigger players that are, built like LeBron, it's hard for them. But he gets clobbered, and he got clobbered again tonight a bunch, and that's not like a new thing. That's not specific to this crew or, this series. He gets fouled a lot. That doesn't happen. I mean, guy gets hit on the head more than any player I've seen on drives, and it rarely gets called. Yeah, I mean, I sarcastically said the other day they were the most disruptive team without fouling. I mean, they have a few guys that foul on every possession, and all the good defenses do. SGA gets like I don't even know, a touch foul, I guess, on a drive. There was a stretch where 4 straight possessions, our guys got absolutely clobbered, trying to make an entry pass to Jackson, and Jalen Williams is grabbing his jersey with both arms. That's a turn. They're hard enough to play. They're hard enough to play. You've got to be able to just call it if they foul, and they do foul.
Been there. I've been there. I know exactly how he feels.
That's got to be 6 figures, right? That's got to be.
Oh, he pushed it.
The worst whistle in history.
LeBron has the worst whistle of any star player I've ever seen.
Okay, look, can we just stop there? That's when he should have been said, okay, that's enough.
Sit down.
Sit down. You've said enough. Nobody believes anything now.
You lost all credibility on that one.
I mean, LeBron, he doesn't even have to get hit to get if you're in the vicinity. And I get it. Like as a referee, you've got to determine who's forcing the contact. In a lot of cases, LeBron's in a bad way, and he just kind of has to, put himself more into the defender. And so the referees aren't going to call that. It's the stuff, obviously, the referees are looking for that. Where you're in the NBA, where you're actually affecting the shot, where you're actually hitting the arm, but there is no question there's a star hierarchy in the NBA for calls. I feel like
Phil
LeBron,
Jackson is offended by what
I
he
feel
just did.
I feel LeBron's done just fine.
I think, when he looks back on his career, I think he's been treated somewhat fairly.
I mean, at least Phil
officials.
didn't say that Michael. He never. Can't imagine he'd ever say that. Maybe he did, but
No,
that was
Phil
absurd.
He worked the refs better than anybody, but I don't think he ever said anything like the worst whistle for a superstar.
And
come on, really?
Well, Phil was all about timing too. Like Phil wouldn't go off immediately after a game. He would go before the next game, like the pregame of the next, when that media availability would hit the day before a game. He'd be like, you know what? If they let them do this and this and this, we're going to get blown out in this game. If they allow them to do this, like he was essentially telling everybody, watch for this. And if this happens, then we're going to lose the game. And so it got every fan, every media guy zeroed in on that exact thing. And the officials were like, well, crap, we kind of have to call it now. Like, that's what you don't – I don't remember Phil Jackson ever getting fined once because he was smart with his timing of it. If you just go off – after a game, yeah, get ready. You're going to be dropping some significant dollars to the NBA charity of choice.
Well, and all you have to do is watch all of the playoff games. I said this the other day, but and it happens in college too, happens in high school. But when you go up and get into the playoffs, the referees actually want to kind of become less involved. And so in theory, I think they all just they let more go on. And so some of that physicality, I see that in the regular season, though, where guys are grabbing jerseys or locking arms so what is happening is not any different. And I think the ultimate issue is that Oklahoma City is just that much better than most teams. And, this is the only way to try to commiserate about it is to circle the officials up or go after somebody like that after the game.
I've had coaches tell me in regards specifically to San Diego State, and I think Oklahoma City is kind of in the same vein, is they will foul on every possession, and their thought is they're not going to blow a whistle on every possession, so we're just going to keep mugging. When you play Oklahoma City, that's what you're going to get. Now, the Shea thing, I understand on the other end can be obnoxious, but there are some teams out there you just know that's their MO. They are going to mug you, and it's the playoffs. Officials don't like calling those whistles, and so you better be prepared for a lot of physicality in these games, especially against them.
Well, that's what I think playoffs mean.
Yeah.
It's just an uptick in physicality, certainly in competition, but they also let it go. And I was on the wrong end of that in a high school championship game one year. We were honestly, I think why we were such a good regular season team at BYU in the Mountain West Conference particularly was because we had multiple days in between games. But then you get down to the tournament, and that's where depth and strength and, some of the things that we didn't necessarily have as much of, skill becomes a little less, and more of that physicality and toughness is more of how you win those conference tournaments.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. All right, so throughout the show today, I know that you want to, and I respect what you're doing here, because you want to just avoid the situation coming up on Sunday as much as possible. You don't want to bring too much attention to it.
I'm fine talking about it, but I just think just like we talk about, what we just did. Just we don't gotta feel like it's on us to get this done. We just gotta set the stage. But I will say I love who they're sending out there.
Yeah.
It goes perfectly in line with, because it's like he came in last year and he helped finish off the culture piece of this. He really did. Him getting all those guys to go with him. So Keontae going back, when I saw that, I'm not saying good vibes, any of that. That makes sense.
Lloyd and I were thinking, though, there is a feature on the KSL Sports app, and it's called voicemail, or I don't know, it's in the bottom of Open mic. All you got to do is hit that button, and it will leave a message on the app, and it gets sent to Lloyd. Lloyd will then trim it up, and we will play it on the air. It is voicemail. Okay. So there's a function. You download the KSL Sports app, go to whatever app store you go to, and download that bad boy. And then at the very bottom is a feature that'll say voicemail. You're going to click on that, and it will allow you to send a message over your phone, and it will go right to Lloyd. Lloyd will then make sure that you don't swear or say something inappropriate, and then we will play them. The topic is, what are you willing to do or give up if the Jazz get a top 3 pick? Should we go just number 1? Make it really extreme?
Yes.
Okay. What are you willing to do?
Because I think there is a certain player that fans would really like to see.
What are you willing to do or give up to ensure that the Jazz get a number 1 pick? I mean, and again, keep it within reason here, because you get vulgar, we're not going to play it. But, what are you willing to do? What are you willing to give up to make sure that the Jazz get that number 1 pick? 1029. Again, that's available for you on the KSL Sports app. Just download that bad boy, hit the voicemail function, leave Lloyd a message. It's all right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Ladies and gentlemen, the biggest name.
You're locked on to Scotty G and the coach, Tim LaComb, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right. By the way, I will not stand for any disrespect to Paula Abdul on this show.
Former Laker dancer.
So very
appropriate.
Tremendous singer. and people only remember Paula Abdul as the kids, and even the kids probably don't even remember this now, it was so long ago, as the woman that couldn't string 3 sentences together on American Idol. Okay, that time had taken a bit of a toll there. But if you go late 80s, Paula Abdul, remember that video where she was dancing with like the cartoon?
Yep.
Awesome.
Straight up now, tell me.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So
that song, actually, I was in the midst of my service in the
old field?
In the old field. Fielder's Choice.
Yes.
And I was in Boston. I remember Lowell, Massachusetts, just a random day. And I think that song came out before I left. So it was just one of those rays of hope out there. I was out the street contacting in the middle of this, and this car comes by, and it's a yellow light, and then it turns red, and they're blasting that tune. So I got about 1 minute and 25 seconds of that song.
Oh, that's what music. That's what music's like.
I was kind of,
Yeah.
I'm not taking surveys for a minute. I'm going to sit here and sway to this. And then they took off, and then I got back to it.
And then it's like, all right, let's go listen to some Motab. All right. I've got the lineup. Now, we know Keontae George is going to be there for the Utah Jazz. But you got some interesting names that are going to be representing their teams. John Wall will be representing the Wizards in the draft lottery. How about this? Kansas Jayhawks star Nick Collison for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Alonzo Mourning will be out there for the Miami Heat. This is one that I have a hard time because I remember him as a player. I remember as a college player. I think you probably may have seen him at Utah, but Tayshaun Prince when he was at Kentucky.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yep. He's with the Memphis Grizzlies. Oh, yeah.
The wingspan.
TJ McConnell for the Pacers.
I love that selection.
You ready for a real throwback? Rolando Blackman for the Mavs. Tony Kukoc for the Bulls. Vince Carter. Now, what team do you associate Vince with the most? I go Toronto. He's there for the Brooklyn Nets. And I guess why is Vince Carter? He's Toronto. I mean, you remember the
north of the border.
Yeah, went on the slam dunk competition, rocking the Pacers or the Raptors jersey.
Donovan Mitchell wore his jersey when he did the dunk contest.
Yes,
it was a Toronto jersey.
That's
right.
And then for Charlotte, Con Knipple will be representing Charlotte. Should have been Rookie of the Year. And then you got a bunch of administrators. Sacramento will bring their general manager. Milwaukee, the Bucks will bring the owner's daughter again. All of you, keep your minds out of the gutter on Twitter. It was a really ugly situation last time she was there. Larry Harris for the Golden State Warriors. Don't really care who that is. But yeah, you've got a few general managers, a couple owners, and then a lot of players and former players.
That's a solid crew.
That is.
I mean, you throw Mourning out there. Rolando Blackman was a starting shooting guard in '85 when I moved to Texas. So Brad Davis was at the point. Derek Harper was there. Man, those were the days.
Now, you also have a crew that will be representing individual teams inside the lottery ballroom, the drawing room, as they call it. And a bunch of people you don't know, nor do you care about, owners, general managers there. But representing the Utah Jazz will be Austin Ainge. So Austin will be in the room when it happens. And then you'll have Keontae George at the presentation. I wonder if Austin will give Keontae a heads up, like, hey, man, don't look disappointed out there. It's not going to go our way.
They're going to have like baseball signals if they get the first.
Yeah.
It's two swipes to the arm and a touch to the forehead. Then chin, then shoulder. I mean, that's where they lost me.
Yeah.
Just stop there. But that guy could. No, the indicator is the cheek, remember? I was like, I can't follow you. I'm all the way across the field.
I just like the fastball. Just like
exactly.
One finger, fastball. Let's go. All right, so the lottery coming up on Sunday. It'll be around 1 o'clock. That's when we will be live on the station. So if you hear from a bunch of us, that's going to be good news. If you don't hear from any of us, that's bad news. So you've got...
If you only hear from Ben and Chandler Holt, then Ben Anderson and Chandler Holt.
And Ben Anderson.
It didn't go well.
They're going to be hosting it. And if it only goes an hour and it's only those two, it's bad news. However, if the Jazz are in the top 3, then I'm going to hop on. Then everybody's going to hop on. You'll get a phone call. Everybody's going to contribute. We'll be on the air for a couple hours.
Well, I will be waiting, and just like anything, right? You can only control what you can control. I like who the Jazz are sending back there. I think Keontae's earned that with his dedication, commitment, and the way that he got everybody on the same page this last year. And then I love that Austin's going too. I mean, he's been back there before, but not with the Jazz. So it's a new, fresh, let's go one more attempt here to the cage.
Yeah.
See if we can get a hit.
And by the way, you should enjoy this, Jazz fans. This is going to be the last time you're really going to be emotionally involved in the lottery because the Jazz will not be there next year.
No, there's no way. And it's interesting. I talked to people, David Locke, who couldn't join us yesterday because of some of the issues that we had with the delays and whatever. David's a little bit more, reserved about saying they're going to go make the playoffs. And he makes a good point. Do things have to go right? I mean, the right guys have to be healthy.
Yes.
And there are still things within this summer. The Kessler deal's got to get figured out. And we'll see how this draft pick goes. But if everything is as we think it is right now, and you add a piece, say a top 6, 7 piece, the Jazz will be in the playoffs next year. And I believe not just the play-in.
Yeah.
I think they'll be clearly in and able to go then do what the Mammoth did this year and try to win that first round and see if you can start building, next year.
It's that simple. Again, there's a lot of what ifs here. What else you add in free agency? What else you can pull the trigger on in trades? But assuming Kessler comes back and you add a rotational piece in the draft, at bare minimum, the Jazz will be a playoff team next year. And you will not have to worry about lottery balls. You're not going to have to worry about any of that nonsense ever again, or at least for the foreseeable future.
And in a day and age where the pieces of your team, the individual pieces can be moved around, used. I mean, complete teams like Oklahoma City, that's the way to build. And these last few years to give Flip an opportunity with all those minutes to do what he did. And I think he is a bona fide guy that can give people problem off the bench. Bryce Sensabaugh, man, there's another piece, another guy. If you need shooting and you put him in the game, and this year he showed. I mean, he took a couple charges. He was more active defensively. He took that assignment. Everybody's got to continue to up that. But in terms of, the top line guys, and we always talk about the rotational guys, and certainly now it's going to be great because there's so much competent, tested within the couple seasons, talent that now can battle against each other, and that's where the cream rises to the top. So it could be really amazing because the Jazz have the positional size to go attack other teams in ways that they haven't been able to do in the past. And then to be able to have individual pieces, a Flip off the bench, Sensabaugh, Isaiah Collier, and it's going to be interesting to see who stays on the island, and who gets moved off. There's a lot of fine tuning, obviously, at this point.
You ever a Survivor guy? You ever watch that?
I did early on,
same.
one of the first couple, but then
I was done with it. So I look at it, and this is a very Danny Ainge way of looking at things because Danny tries to take the emotion out of it, and he looks at team building. And, Danny once said, hey, look, if I was a general manager of the Celtics, I'd look at moving Larry Bird right now to get, like he's, I don't want to say he's cold-blooded, but he's calculated in how he approaches things. Bryce Sensabaugh, Kyle Filipowski, even Cody Williams to a certain extent, these guys that were able to get time last year and showcase their abilities, yes, they could be a part of next year's team and be better for it, but you also showcase their ability to help facilitate trades. And so there's a lot of tape on these guys doing good things in some big minutes. They're like, okay, we need that one extra player to pull off to finish off this trade. You saw what Sensabaugh did. He can be a big-time scorer. You saw the versatility of Filipowski. You can play the 5-4. He's all over the floor. You can do all kinds of things with him. And that in itself can be beneficial to the Jazz as they're continuing to build this team.
Yeah, that's why these years were pivotal.
Yeah.
You don't even know it going through it, but that's kind of some of the best things in life. You think about raising kids. I mean, I've got my grandkids over, twins, and my grandson right now. I've forgotten. I've been so far removed from having young kids. I mean, we've been on the run straight for a couple of days, but you make it through that.
Yeah.
But think about all the valuable things that happen in that time. Much like, I'm telling you, this was a painful season for Jazz fans. And we talked about many that said, I'm done with that, whatever. I will still admit or still concur that when the Jazz get relevant and start making their runs again, the same people that are saying that will be there.
They'll be back.
Because, you can't take that away from Utah people support Utah people. So we are on the front end with the Jazz of something really, really fun. And Ryan's come out and said it. He's not afraid to say it. You want to win a championship, and you can't tiptoe. You cannot tiptoe into the pool. You have to jump in. And the two teams in the West, at least right now, that are the really big factors in the West and will be going forward, OKC and San Antonio, the Jazz have built their roster size-wise to be able to compete with them in day one.
The first time I did a sit-down interview with Ryan, it was before the Gobert trade. It was before the Donovan Mitchell trade. Hans and I sat down with him. It was the first MMA event. Dana White was in town. They were announcing they were bringing MMA back to Utah. And Ryan sat down, and he said a line that I will never forget because it is proven to be very, very true. He goes, "We are willing to endure any amount of pain to bring a title to Salt Lake City." And essentially, he told everybody, look, it's not going to be fun for a few years. This is going to be rough. It's going to be painful, but we're not doing it to be a 45-win team. We're doing it to be a 60-win team and a team that brings a trophy down a parade down State Street. That's what's important to him. And so, yeah, while this has not been fun or enjoyable for you as a fan, for the players, for the coaches, for the front office, there is a method to what they're trying to do, and hopefully you see the results of that coming up on Sunday.
And what is awesome about this, Scotty, to me is they don't have to get the number. I mean,
no.
There are so many scenarios, but they've put themselves in a position because of the way they've managed the last 4 years, where in some cases you get to this and it's like, man, we have got to, and obviously you want to hit because you're drafting that high, but the Jazz, what they've shown me is they hit on picks. Like this group, Zanuck, Ainge, the Ainges, obviously, Will Hardy's a huge part of it, but they hit, and the reason they hit is because they're certain, they stack good decisions, but then on top of that, these guys do such a great job of taking a guy where he is and moving him forward. Mm-hmm. And that's what I've seen in the last 4 years. It's been overwhelming. I asked the question yesterday about development to somebody we had on in my mind. But that's what's, as a coach, stood out to me, because I go early and I watch these guys and I watch their workout protocol and I watch the things that, great coaches have you work on your weaknesses. And so part of your workout is making shots and doing the things you can do, and then you really get into the other stuff. But you give that every single day, and that's why these guys have gotten better. And so I'm thrilled about the development piece in accord also with the roster, because even a guy like Lowry Markin, I felt like he got better defensively this year.
Yep.
Right. So I'm not just talking about the young guys acclimating to the game. I feel like we saw it with John Collins. He was a 29% 3-point shooter the year before he came to the Jazz. His first year in Utah, he shot 43 or 40. And I think next year everybody's talking about Jaren Jackson's rebounding. I will just say, I sit back and watch that number from, I have a feeling that's going to go up because he's going to get a coach to go up. But you've also got Walker Kessler gobbling a bunch, hopefully, as well. He's like the Hoover.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone, 1049, what you may have missed coming up. Also, we got a busy show. This is going to be a fun one today at 11:05. Tony Jones will join us. Randy Bennett, new head coach at Arizona State. A good friend of coaches will join us at 12:05. And then Craig Bolerjack in studio at 1 right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Best radio in Utah is right here. This is Scotty G and the coach, Tim LaComb, on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Give up energy drinks for the next couple days, and if they get that number one pick, I'll give them up forever.
All right, there you go. Our first voicemail, Jake just sent in a voicemail via the KSL Sports app. If the Jazz get the number one pick, Jake is giving up energy drinks, not for a week, not for a month, forever. No more energy. He's going cold turkey.
How about you, Scotty? How about you? Would you give it up?
Hide the rock
you give
star.
up your drink?
This is my answer to that. Right there.
You wouldn't do that
To get a number one pick?
Yeah, to get the number 1 overall pick. Scotty, come on.
Whoa.
Come on, Scotty.
Whoa.
Hey, just like the Jazz, I mean, there would be a little period of pain, a lot of pain. You have headaches.
You'll get used to it, though.
That would be like me trying to quit Diet Coke.
Okay. I'm not even going to bring that up to you.
I'm starting to put, I put the 12-pack in I'm drinking one a day.
Yeah.
Yowza.
Well, we had people on the YouTube stream that were keeping track of your Diet Coke consumption yesterday.
I crushed 3.
Yeah. They're like, wait a minute, he went through 2 bottles and now he's on a can.
Yeah, this guy's got to have, that's my, I guess that's my fuel, man.
Look, dude, I know I need to get off. Okay, fine. If the Jazz get the number 1 draft pick, I will never drink another sugar-free original Rockstar ever again.
I'm going to say it.
I've got to read in between some lines here, I feel like.
I think he
got to
left
read the fine print right now.
Yeah, that's like at the end of the ad when it's like, product does 4
hours or longer, see a doctor.
He's totally lying to you. If your headache persists for longer than 4 hours, consult
All right, fine.
an optometrist.
All right, mark it down, Lloyd. Record this. Jake, I am with you. If the Jazz get the number 1 overall pick, see these and everything like it, energy drinks, I'm done. Not another one.
I love the commitment you just made. Thank you.
Well, I'm actually new here, so I don't have an open container because I'm trying to live by the rules. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's not open. You've got that in your mug.
That was just a sound.
You dumped it in your mug.
That was just a sound effect of me.
No, you had the mug.
Yeah.
You've got a lid on that thing. I will do the same. I would be in a world.
No. Don't do Diet Coke.
No, I'm not doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll quit.
Diet Coke?
I will quit.
No,
Diet
you
Coke.
won't.
I will. No, I will.
Because I won't do that with Coke Zero.
I'll quit Diet Coke. I'll just start drinking like some. I'll find a replacement. But that's the best thing I can give you.
Wow. I wasn't even trying to persuade you into something.
No,
like
I
that.
felt compelled to do my part.
Do you feel?
And that's it. That's all I'm doing. I'm not happy about it. I'm sad about it.
Like, okay, when you say compelled, do you feel like the other word for that is manipulated by Lloyd?
No. I do not feel manipulated by Lloyd.
All
Lloyd,
right.
you know what? Since I've been here, the first couple of days were it's like anything, trying to figure it out. But I'll tell you what, he's been a champ.
Yeah.
This guy's a champ.
He tried to haze you those first couple days.
Yeah,
No hazing. There's no hazing.
I think you just wanted to, draw a line in the sand and say, hey, you know what? There's film class Lloyd, and then there's program director Lloyd, and it's a different person we're dealing with here.
If there's a way to get security footage of me wandering that parking facility,
I didn't haze you on that. That wasn't me. That was HR hazing you.
Okay, I know. I'm just saying, but that would be, and if you added some song really sad, like Everybody Hurts from REM, and I'm just walking up to each and every door and pulling on it. When the day is long in the night.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Gather around the radio, folks, because this man has got opinions. He's got thoughts, and he's always willing to share, and he doesn't care who he offends, who he has to fight with on Twitter. He'll go at a drop of a hat. It is the great Tony Jones from The Athletic. He will join us next. We'll chat all things NBA with him. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hey there, it's Wayfair here, where delivery and setup are as easy as a few taps on your phone. You're relaxing in an old hammock, scrolling Wayfair's app, when you spot it, a brand new patio set. Next thing you know, Wayfair delivers it right to your patio and sets it up. Oh, you need a new grill too? All right, Wayfair's got you covered. With Wayfair's Room of Choice delivery and fast expert setup on qualifying orders, life gets a little easier. Visit wayfair.com or the Wayfair app.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
You're locked on to Scotty G and the coach, Tim LaComb.
Now I know y'all are tripping.
Presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Hey, remember, the Copper Rock PGA Championship giveaway starts next week. One lucky winner will receive a Callaway Copper Rock Lodged golf bag and a $100 gas gift card starting Monday. The Zone will pair the top 25 players with a qualifier, and one gets the remaining field. Be caller number 12 when we ask, and you'll be assigned a player. And if your golfer wins, then you win. It's the Copper Rock, all brought to you by Copper Rock, where the pros play. So I know you've listened to the station for a long time. It's a big deal because a lot of guys will call in and they're like, come on, Scotty Scheffler. And sometimes they hit, sometimes they don't. But at least it gives you somebody to root for in the tournament coming up next week.
I told Lloyd I'm going to do my research over the weekend. I'm gonna be ready to go.
Major pain in the butt.
I'm going to have a solid lineup ready to throw out there.
Yeah, I like it. And I would like to say that I do a lot of research on mine. I usually just pull up the Vegas odds and
probably as smart as anything.
Because obviously you want to win. You have a guy that wins it, but you just need to make sure all three of your guys make the cut.
Solid.
And if they're up a third, then you're going to be okay.
So is it just the three of us?
Yep.
We don't get BT involved in that?
No, I think, I think DJ steals those guys for something similar.
All right.
But, plus, I don't want to embarrass BT or Bob.
Because they do it for a living.
They do it for a living, and we just do it for fun. And so when we do a better job than them, it just puts them in a bad spot.
Come right in over the top.
Yeah.
It's what you do.
It's not okay.
I'm excited to talk to TJ. This will be fun.
Tony Jones expected to join us coming up here in just a moment. In fact, I'm a little curious to know how Tony's handling the recent success of the New York Knicks, because honestly, as long as I've known Tony, the Knicks have not been particularly good. I know you're a fan, Tony. Are you able to put the fandom aside with this Knicks run you guys are on?
I am a fortress of professionalism.
Oh yeah, that's true. A fortress of professionalism.
Hey, that needs to be your tag on Twitter. A fortress of professionalism.
By the way, Tim, can I just wish you congratulations, man?
Tony, you are and always have been so good to me. So I appreciate it, man. You're one of the real ones out there, and I sure appreciate that.
No, you've been good to me, and I when I saw the news, when you shared it on Twitter, I was not Twitter, but IG. I was very, very happy, and the photo in the video that you and Scotty did was absolutely phenomenal. So did we become best friends? That was great.
Yeah, that was fun. No, we're having a great time, and Scotty's keeping the thing where it needs to go, and I'm just following very closely.
Yes. Absolutely.
Hey,
absolutely.
About those Knicks, and it's really kind of more of a trend, I feel like the NBA's, you see OKC really well-constructed, versatile, able to shift if they want to play certain ways or match certain lineups from the other side. I feel like the Knicks have done a great job, too, of just instilling a team. And, you get guys like Bridges, who's played the most games in the last 5 years. Just speak to what do you really feel like this team's chances are to get there, to get to the finals this year from the East?
I'm going to put my fandom aside. I'm just going to be very.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want Baller Tony.
Champions.
Yes. Yes, sir. Let's go.
Okay, let me stop. All right. Objective head Tony, not heart Tony. I'm still going to be very complimentary. I watched I watched, because I'm covering the series because I cover the Sixers. But I watched the first 5 minutes of Game 1, and you know what I said, and you'll know this because you've had teams like this. You can watch the first 5 minutes of Game 1, and you say, "Wow, this team's been together for a while," because they know everything that they're trying to get to on offense. They know exactly where their rotations are defensively. When they get in transition, they know exactly, like Jalen Brunson's in the middle. He knows that Josh Hart is trailing. He knows that Mikal Bridges is fanning out to one side. He knows that OG Anunoby is fanning out to the other side. He knows that Cat is going to be trailing the play for the secondary break. I mean, there's just no guesswork with what the Knicks are doing right now, and it's made them a different beast for the Philadelphia 76ers than Boston was, because Boston, as good as the two Jays are, around them, they were still trying, there were, multiple guys who hadn't been in the playoffs before, and the Sixers were able to walk them down in that series once Joel Embiid came back. And the Knicks are basically, Joel didn't play in game 2, but in game 1, the Knicks basically ran him off the floor. They pick and rolled him to death. They got to whatever they wanted it out of the drop coverage. They knew that Joel wasn't going to be able to move to play up to the levels of the screen. And it was, you just see the Knicks and you just know that, they've been through the playoff wars and frankly, this might be their time. This might be their time to win the Eastern Conference. And if they win the Eastern Conference, I certainly give them a fighting chance against whoever comes out of the West.
Ooh, so you probably won't like my prediction that I made earlier in the show.
Give it to him.
I said that not only will Oklahoma City win the NBA title this year, they'll do it in less than 20 games.
So that's not a hot take, though.
That gives them 3 losses in the playoffs.
Right. Denver did exactly 20 games in 2023.
Yeah.
They went 16-4. If you guys remember, I covered that entire run. I covered the Nuggets for that entire run. And they went 5 against Minnesota. They went 6 against Phoenix. Phoenix was the only team to be competitive. Phoenix got that series to 2-2, and then they ran out of gas. They did 4 against the Lakers. They swept the Lakers, and they did 5 against the Miami Heat. So I still think – I don't think they're going to go 20 because I think they're going to get the Spurs next series, and that'll go at least 6. And I think that the Knicks or the Pistons are capable of taking 2 games away from them. But it very well might be 16-4 because I don't see Los Angeles taking a game from them in this series, which would make them 8-0. But the one thing I would give caution to if I was an Oklahoma City fan is that there's going to be a shock to their system after this series because it's going to get much more competitive very quickly because they got Phoenix didn't have a chance, and Los Angeles without Luka didn't have a chance either. But if they get the Spurs, that's going to be much more competitive, and I think the Knicks or the Pistons would be able to be competitive as well.
You watching the Minnesota San Antonio series, I assume, because you're a ball. You cover so many teams, but you're also just a ball guy.
So it's ironic that you say that because I haven't watched much of that series.
Oh, really?
Okay. And the reason why is because covering the Sixers and the Knicks, both of those games have started concurrent to the second half of the Sixers and the Knicks, which meant, obviously they're still going after the game, but I have to do post game and I have to do interviews and I have to actually work for a living. And I haven't been. So I watched the last 3 minutes in game 1, and then I watched maybe 4 or 5 possessions of game 2. But I've seen the entirety of every other game of every other series, just not that one.
But that does appear to be a drag-out, knockout fight between those two teams. I love Minnesota. I love what they're doing. I love Anthony Edwards and his willingness to just say, screw it, I'm going to go out there and play. San Antonio may be too much for him, but I'm really enjoying this one.
I think there's a real chance that Minnesota runs out of gas in this series.
Yeah, I can see that.
In the later games. I think if Minnesota has any chance of winning this series, they got to win both of these home games this weekend. because even if they win both of these home games, I still think that there's a chance that San Antonio wins the last 3 games of the series and wins in 7. Just because San Antonio's backcourt, the depth and, the defensive pressure that they're able to exhibit, their youth and the way that they're able to shuttle guys in and out. There's only so much legs that Bones Highland can have against that. So, I do think, obviously, Minnesota has a chance to win Game 3. But then, if they do win Game 3, then Game 4 is going to end up. It's very similar to Denver and Oklahoma City last year, a series that I covered. Denver went up 2-1, and we all said, everybody was covering Denver, like, they're not going to win the series if they don't win Game 4, and they did not win Game 4. They were up 10 with about 3 minutes left in the third quarter, and then SGA just went crazy down the stretch. They walked them down, tied the series at 2-2. In Denver's last gasp was like Game 6, and then Oklahoma City ran away with Game 7. But that's the thing. Every other day in these series, the team it's often attrition, and the teams that are the healthiest wins, the teams that have the most legs wins, and often the teams that are the youngest win.
Mike Conley also played like 24 minutes in that game, and he only played over 20 minutes like 20 times this year. So, like you said, without DiVincenzo too, that's going to be tough. Is Wemby going to be the MVP next year and start a run for a while?
I think that he and Shea are the 2 best players in the world right now.
Right.
I think that, I think that this is about to be really, really near future. It's going to be his league. The things I'm pretty sure he's going to end up being the best defensive player we've ever seen. And, once his offense catches up, he's obviously great offensively, but I think that there's still things that you can do to game plan against him from the defensive side of the ball. You can still, put a Julius Randle on him and just kind of push him and root him out and, do some things with him. Once you can't do that anymore, it's going to be him and LeBron at the top, and Michael Jordan's going to be third.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. LeBron's number 1.
Oh, no.
Sorry,
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm just going to keep it civil. I love you, man. I do. I really do. And everybody's entitled to whatever they feel.
Even if it's wrong?
LeBron's number 1, and it's not close. That's the real take. I'm sorry.
It's okay. No, and again, I still love you. Nothing changes that.
I just want to caution the people who are enjoying this interview to really, really enjoy the rest of it, because it might be a long time before I'm invited back on this show.
No,
come on. Look, TJ, Coach isn't mad. He's just disappointed in you. That's all. It's
even worse.
No, Tony, I'm neither. These guys can't put words in my mouth. I don't get into territorial, fragmented stuff like that.
I will say, Tony, you caused a stir on this station the last time you were on, and it turned into a social media frenzy to the point where I'm like, please, all you people out there, please just remove my handle from this, because I'm tired of getting into all your fights. You said that if the Jazz are able to get A.J. DeBonsa in this draft, that they will win a title. Not just get to an NBA Finals, they will win a title, I think you said, in like 3 or 4 years. Do you still stick with that?
Oh, I still stick with that. I stand by that.
That's my guy.
And I'm actually, you know what? I'll stamp that one. I'm with him on that
one. Can you imagine A.J. DeBonsa at the 2, and you've got Lowry Markkanen and Walker Kessler and Jaren Jackson Jr.? Oh, by the way.
Oh, Ace, you want to get some minutes?
You have Ace Bailey and you have Keontae George. I mean, that is an insanely versatile and talented group. I mean, it would be, if the Jazz get AJ DeBosa and they have all of those weapons, you're taking $50-60 million in cap space this year, and you're saying you're going to any veteran that's helpful and saying, look at what we have. This team would be ready to. This team would win 50 games next year, instantly.
Yes,
and be a top 4 seed in the Western Conference.
Tell me this: was when you heard about the Jackson trade, what was first thing that went through your mind with that? Like, you can't help how you feel. Like, you hear it. What did you think?
I was shocked. That was the initial, because I knew, I mean, it was obvious that the Jazz did not want to win. So, you're shocked that you make a trade for a winning player, and then you analyze the trade and you say, oh, okay, in a bubble, in a vacuum, this is a good trade. But then you realize, they're not really going to play Jaren that much.
Yeah,
then,
exactly.
Then you objectively look towards, this is what they're going to have next year. This is, this is good. So, it makes a lot of sense. Him and Lowry are going to be, very dangerous as booking forwards. And I think that, when you look at this team next year, you're going to be able, as long as this team is healthy, you're going to be able to keep two of Keontae George, Lowry Market, and Walker Kessler or Jaren Jackson Jr. on the floor at all times. That's pretty good.
Okay, let's say that the Jazz are picking at 3. Knowing what they have on that roster, do you go Boozer or do you go Caleb Wilson?
I'm going Caleb Wilson.
I agree.
Ball knower. He's a ball knower. That's right where I'm at, too.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going Caleb Wilson because I'm just looking at that upside. I love Cameron Boozer. I see him as a 18-10 to 20-10 guy for a decade. I just don't think that he has a superstar gear. So if you're picking top 3, whether this works out or whether it doesn't, I want to draft somebody that I think has a superstar gear. And I think Caleb Wilson has it. I think Darren Peterson has it. I think AJ DeBanza has it. I actually think Keaton Wagler has it, but I'm not picking Keaton Wagler over Cameron Boozer.
The interesting thing is I look at it every year, and obviously there's a pecking order, and I don't know how much agents influence all that stuff, but the Jazz last year did just that. They had the opportunity, and he fell, but Ace Bailey's on that list. Don't you feel like he's got that superstar gear?
I think he does have the superstar gear, absolutely. And it's funny that we laud the 2026 draft is rightfully being as good and as deep as it is and as talented as it is. It's going to be really hard for many drafts to beat the top 5 of this draft. Cooper Flagg, Dylan Harper, VJ Edstrom. I think VJ Edstrom could be the next Anthony Edwards.
He's incredible, man.
He's special, and I'm going to break some news on VJ Edstrom. Okay, I'm finally ready to come out of the closet. So listen to this.
Okay.
So do you remember when the Rookie of the Year voting came out a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah.
Yes.
There was one person who voted.
Yes.
VJ got one vote, one second place vote. It was me.
We know that guy.
Love it.
It was me.
That's fun.
I didn't say anything on Twitter because I was looking at like all of the whoever voted gave VJ Edstrom the second place vote should be tied up on a stake and burned alive. And I was just thinking to myself, I was like,
Like I better.
I don't want to jump into this one.
I better lay low for a while.
The evil Kermit was like looking at me like, "Do it." And, well, yes, it was me.
That's awesome.
But now that VJ's actually been on a playoff stage, and you guys, people have seen what he is. That's why I voted him second.
Yeah. Okay, let me ask you this: did you go Con or Flag number one?
Oh, I went Flag one.
See, okay, look, this is the problem I have with that is that Cooper's going to get all of the accolades. Like he's going to go down as one of the greatest. He's going to win MVPs, titles. Can we just let Con have this one? He had the better overall season. Let's just let Con have that one.
I don't agree that he had the better overall season.
He absolutely did have the better season.
I think this is why I voted Cooper over Con. You're comparing a guy who was a number one option all season to a guy who was a number three option all season. So, yeah, Con had a great season. But, I mean, Cooper, this guy was at the very top of everybody's scouting report, and he was setting records of his own. Now, I'm going to give you a reason why I voted. This is the reason why. What is wrong? My ice machine is going crazy in the background. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
The reason why I voted VJ number two, and this is why I voted VJ number two, because I thought that he was the best defensive rookie on the perimeter this year with Cedric Howard out of Memphis. I thought that those two were the best defensive perimeter rookies by far, and it's hard to guard point of attack as a rookie, and VJ Eskrim did it, and he did it extremely well. He was Philadelphia's best perimeter defender this year. And the second reason, which is a lot more inside baseball, but it's my reason nonetheless, he was the only rookie in the class that had to scale all 5 responsibility positions this year. He had to be the number 1 option. He had to be the number 2 option. He had to be the number 3 option, the number 4 option. And in the rare instances where Joel Embiid and everybody else was healthy, he was the number 5 option. So he had to take on so many hats this season on both sides of the basketball. Still averaged 16, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, or whatever he did. And he did it for a team that made the playoff, not only made the playoffs, but made the playoffs without 2 of its 3 best players for most of the season. That's why I voted on number 2.
We'll agree to disagree on a few topics.
I can't believe you're dissing my guy.
Hey, let's not get this guy.
And he had to play with one of the ball boys. I mean, come on, that's not easy.
Hey, whose idea was it to have this naysayer on here?
I know,
today?
right?
Yeah. I'm just kidding, man. This is sports. This is what we do.
TJ, man, I love chatting with you so much. I hope you're having a good time back there in Philadelphia. You know we miss you, but we're going to get you on as much as possible, especially during the season, all right?
Absolutely. We're going to do the video thing, too.
Yes.
So tell Lloyd to never fear.
Yeah. We're going to make that happen.
And you get out here, you better call us because we're going to break bread, okay?
We're going to go buy you a meal or 2.
Yeah, absolutely. You're not buying me anything. I'm gonna do the LeBron
Dutch.
James thing in that movie, and I'm just gonna be like, "Yeah, okay, you owe $33."
Hey, I will say this: LeBron's a hell of an actor. He did a good job in that movie.
Oh, he did a great job in that movie. But when he said, "See, I told you these refills weren't free."
Hey, you've seen him roll around on the floor plenty for no reason. He's a great actor.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, I'll leave it at that. Well, we'll just get little things.
My favorite. That's the best player in the world to you.
I thought last night his wrist broke. I mean, the way he landed, but he was okay. He was good.
He was okay. His hip broke. That was a foul. They should have called it.
I know they should have. It was awful. Well, he gets hit, and he gets more fouled worse than any star player.
He gets the worst whistle in the history of the NBA, according to JJ.
Agreed.
You're the man, TJ.
All right, Tony, we'll see you soon, man.
Okay, I'm going to take my wife out for a sandwich for Mother's Day.
That works. Yep.
Hey, hold on a second. It's on my ledger. Yeah, that passes.
Yeah.
You're good.
I think you'll be fine.
All right.
All right.
I'll talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for having me.
You got it. There he is. Tony Jones. Man, I love that dude. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Yeah, he came on the air as one of the friends and said, oh, yeah, Jazz are going to win a title in 3 years. And, of course, our crack promotional staff threw that on a little video, and that sucker went viral.
I saw it.
Yeah.
Because I watch and listen. I actually probably heard it the day you did it. But TJ's great. He does such a good job. He's got a good basis because he's seen so much, and he covers a bunch of different teams. I love having him on. He's just in error a little bit on who he thinks the GOAT is.
Yeah. All right, 11:31, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Fired up for our next guest coming up at 12:05, Randy Bennett. Yes, the head coach of Arizona State, longtime head coach of St. Mary's, good friend of Coach LaComb's. He's going to join us coming up in 30 minutes from right now, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It's time to saddle up and talk about the winners and the losers. This is the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, here's the good.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Hey, remember the Zone and Beehive Mills honoring people that impact youth sports in our communities. Nominate the youth sports volunteer you know for the Beehive Mills Hero of the Week at KSLSports.com/contest. All right, it is your good, it is your bad, it is your ugly. There's a couple things here on the good in regards to Connor McDavid. Yesterday, he starts firing up his social media of him and his dog out on a boat. And where is that boat? It's in Utah. Now, Connor McDavid still under contract. He will be a highly sought-after free agent if he allows himself to reach free agency. If not, he may get traded next year or after next year if they can't figure things out with him and Edmonton. But he was not happy at the end of the season. We played some of his comments. Well, he continued on and talked about some of the teams that Edmonton has essentially been passed up by.
This year felt like there was a big turnover. Those young teams are not young, losing teams. They're really good teams with great players. San Jose is the same way. You know, how long before Chicago figures it out? Utah's right there, too. So it was a big changeover year, and we got to get going.
Utah's right there, too. We got to get going.
They could just really use the best player in hockey.
Yeah, I think that would
put him over the edge.
That'd be all right. If Connor, look, if you're not happy in Edmonton, and look, Edmonton, there's not a lot of cities that are professional sports cities where you can say, you know what, everything about Salt Lake City is better than that city. Guess what? Everything about Salt Lake City is better than Edmonton.
I've never been, but I assume that's the fact.
Neither have I.
Jack.
But you know what? I feel pretty comfortable saying that.
Yeah, it's not on my, to-do list. Need to get to Edmonton for whatever reason. I want to go to, Banff.
Sure.
There's
Toronto.
Toronto's great.
I mean,
I spent 16 hours in Toronto. It was a great city.
You loved it.
The world traveler.
Yes. That trip from the bus to the arena to the airport, fantastic.
And the best part about it is you had 20 minutes to figure it all out and get to the airport. It seemed like that one floored me even, Lloyd. I was doing pre-half post as I always do, and I was driving to the up to the arena. It was a Sunday game, correct?
Yep.
And I can't remember, but somebody called me and said, "Yeah, Boulder's doing today's game, or Boulder's out today. Scotty's in." Whoa.
I was calling
because you called them. Yeah, we texted the night before.
Yeah, I called the Utah State game. I was in Logan on Saturday. Fortunately, it was a day game. Utah State was playing San Diego State, and Jeremy Bruner in the middle of the game. And usually, I try not to look at my phone during the game, but it popped up on my computer, and I messaged, and it's from Jeremy Bruner. He said, "Hey, do you have your passport, or do you have an active passport?" And I'm like, "Yes." He's like, "Good, because I've got you booked on a overnight red-eye flight to Toronto. Bowler's out. Locke's going to go to TV." He's like, "Are you down?" I'm like, "Hell yes. Let's
go." You're
go.
going to Canada.
Then you told Bruno, you said, but I have a show I have to do on Monday.
I got back for the show.
Did you?
Yes, absolutely I did. No, I did.
Did you?
Yep.
Yeah, you work because I remember how tired you were at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I was a mess, but I did it.
But did you?
Did you?
But did you really? Okay. All right.
That's the Lloyd. But did you really?
Physically, I was here. Mentally, maybe not so much. All right, but Connor McDavid, come on down. Look, obviously you like the vacation here. Obviously, you like the scenery. Obviously, there's a lot about the state that you admire. You admire the team. You think they're there. Utah's right there. So let's just make this marriage happen.
What if you had to give up? What would you be willing to give up?
No more rock stars.
No. Okay, I'm actually talking about because it's going to take assets. It's going to take players.
No, me not giving. Yeah.
No. It's going to take players from the Mammoth that you'd have to get. Yamamoto might be gone.
You know what? In Edmonton, they might do it for the Mammoth.
Yeah. Send up the
Straight
Mammoth
across.
Yep.
Because that's the whole thing with the Mammoth. They have all these young assets that are up and comers.
Okay.
And what do you?
We'll give you the Mammoth and Mike Fulta in exchange for Connor McDavid.
Mike, I do not back what he's
and
saying,
hey,
Mike.
And if you
you're
really
listening,
push
Mike,
us, we'll throw in Adrian Denny.
Yeah, I don't know. Adrian might be a deal breaker.
You're going to throw in broadcasters.
I'll go ahead and throw him in. The Mammoth, what are you thinking?
Man.
Two very capable guys, because I listen to them a lot when I'm driving.
And by the way, Mike's great. That's why
Mike's great.
That's why he's valuable.
There's value. No,
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. There's a value there.
Yeah.
So I get it. I understand. You're not just like getting rid of it because there's no value here. Why not? No,
Well,
I get it.
And I hear what you're saying too, Lloyd, but I say, I don't, you're not going to give up the farm per se, but the bottom line is you're bringing in a whole lot there.
No,
and you win now.
Yeah, I that's the farm. I give up the farm. All right. Logan Cooley and others for Connor McDavid. You have to do it.
It would have to be, for me, I'd have to see it in a list, like a shopping list.
Yeah.
All right. For a guy that can't get it done, that can't win a Stanley Cup.
Wow. Look, you cannot rip a future member of the Utah Mammoth.
I know.
Like that.
I'll say it now, and then I'll back it up when he comes.
We'll go back and delete it.
I know what the headline should be on that day. McMammoth. McMammoth move.
Yeah. No, that's not car crash material. That was good. All right, let's get to that's the good. Let's get to the bad.
Now the bad.
Hey, you were probably part of some, practice skirmishes. You probably saw some stuff. You had some competitive dudes down there. I could see Tavinari mixing it up with somebody in practice.
A lot of fights.
It's a common thing, right?
Yeah, it always seems to happen early when it's the old stages of team building, right?
Yeah.
You learn that in sports psychology. Forming, storming, norming, and performing.
Norming?
Forming, storming.
Yeah.
Norming, just kind of figuring out day to day,
okay. All right.
and performing.
Wow.
I learned that from Dr. Hall at University of Utah.
Look at that. Well, apparently Real Madrid thinks that's not such a good idea. A fight between teammates, and each one has been fined $589,000 after a fight in the locker room. That's a pretty hefty amount of money.
That seems hefty to me.
Between teammates?
Between teammates. Both teammates have been fined.
Not opposing teams.
No.
Just in a practice training
and fined by the team, not by the league or anything. Just like, all right, you know what? We're having a hard time making payroll, so let's ding these guys each $600K.
It probably turned into one of those. It probably turned into one of those WWE things, with trash cans and
chairs, folding chairs getting thrown around,
brooms and employees being thrown around. Just these two guys just had enough.
Our guy Napolis over here will not have any soccer slander going on.
I'm not slandering it, but that is in theory, that is a heck of a way to get some of the money you pay guys back.
Yeah. How often, though, in the course of that fight, did somebody go down and grab an ankle and start screaming and and then
they had to pause?
They brought the stretcher out and took him out of the locker room
after the first punch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then they come out. You're going to be okay. You just literally barely scratched your forehead.
Yeah. Didn't even draw any blood.
Okay, commence.
Let's go. Round 2. Fight.
We played to the stretcher. We're going to play. Do you remember the early versions of Madden had a stretcher?
Oh, yeah.
And an ambulance?
Yeah.
I remember that. They'd come out and you'd put your guy on the stretcher, put him in the ambulance, drive him off.
Have you played the new Maddens?
I haven't. I want to get back into it. It's been years, but I love that
awful.
stuff.
Well,
terrible.
The problem is it's like hard now.
It's really hard,
Like,
and these kids are so much better. Like Xavier smokes me on it. I don't even want to play. Like it's not
We were
fun.
just playing arcade version.
yeah,
I mean,
the A/B button and the little up, down, right, left, and that's it.
But it's all the AI that's in the games now, and they've made it so real. Like you got to have pre-snap reads and everything, right?
Yeah.
Or else you're in big trouble.
I just want Tech Mobile. Give me like 4 plays to choose from, and let's go.
Keep it simple.
This is an ugly. Or I'll do the ugly. Can I do the ugly?
Sure, yeah.
All right, this is the ugly.
And of course, the ugly.
In the theme of video games, just the weekend I just started looking around on my phone.
You're going to admit this.
Yes. And I'm even going to say the name of the app even. I got into hockey, and I'm like, I want to find a hockey video game I can just play. I'm waiting for something or hanging out. So I looked them up, and there's a app called Pocket Hockey. And at first I thought it sounded painful, but it's literally called Pocket Hockey, and it's just, because you play it on your phone. So it's what it is. It's a 3-on-3 game, I think, and it's a mini little rink, and you have to flip your phone sideways, and all the controls are just with your thumbs. Well, I'm here to tell you after about 5 days, I got carpal tunnel so bad, and my thumbs are so bruised. I've been playing this game. I'm so into hockey all of a sudden. I'm hitting one-timers across the
So every
crease.
time you're in the bathroom and sitting on the toilet, you're playing?
Hey, you don't need to. I am at this mic when I need to be, and other than that, in this job, my friend, talk to HR.
Yeah.
Because my time here is limited, you see.
Pocket Hockey.
It's called Pocket Hockey. But I was playing it last night, and then the other thing is you're playing other people, so it matches you up against people.
Oh, okay.
And there's all sorts of trash talk, right? So somebody scores, and they're like, this is an easy game, And then I get mad, and I score, and I put, ha, 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 buddy.
That'll show him.
So anyway, last night I was playing it, and my wrists, the ugly part is when you get old, this stuff, I used to do all sorts of stuff, and now it hurts so bad.
You hurt your wrist playing a video game. Man.
And my thumbs. My thumbs are like, oh, yeah, just, because I was so intense.
Yeah.
Develop some blisters.
I'm surprised you didn't, crack the screen of your phone.
I figured it just shows better when they see us who we are. I like, in my spare time, I like to play video games.
Well, I think the downloads of Pocket Hockey just went through the roof.
Check it out. It's really fun.
Because I'm actually going to download that. You know what I wanted to do, and I don't think they're around much anymore, but I wanted all of us to get like poker video games and have a poker night on our video games, but with listeners.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah. If anybody knows a good poker game for the, are you a PS5 guy or are you a...
For getting to know the listeners' purposes only,
right.
by the way.
And,
No. This is all entertainment purposes.
You guys know my network. I could invite Chauncey Billups to show up at it or something.
Man, Chauncey won again? What? Another one, Chauncey? What's going on? I can't believe that.
I actually do know Chauncey, but yeah. I wouldn't invite him to play poker. That would mean the game would be stacked against you, apparently.
Yeah, and you might have some mob bosses, yeah. Okay, a little late on that, but yeah, you are tight with Chauncey Billups.
Yeah, the wiring on the horn's broken. We need to get that fixed. That was one of the issues with when the guy was looking over the car. The horn wasn't, so his wig kept falling off.
We're bringing this full circle.
You always have to. It's a humor cycle.
11:50, about 15 minutes away from Randy Bennett, new head coach at Arizona State, longtime coach at St. Mary's, will join us coming up at 12:05 right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Utes, Cougars, and Aggies. When it comes to sports in Utah, we've got you covered. This is Scotty G and the coach, Tim LaComb, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Nice. Straight up. Hey, this Mother's Day, give her more than just a gift. Give her comfort that she'll feel every single day. It's Mother's Day deals going on right now at Minky Couture. We were out there yesterday. You can still get 50% off those Minky blankets. All you have to do is go online at minkycouture.com. Okay, normally I would say get it online. Sure, there's a lot of convenience there. It's probably not going to make it to you by Sunday. So what I would suggest, there's so many great Minky Couture locations all up and down the Wasatch Front. Just find one and go in there and say Zone 50 and grab your blanket, and you're good to go. And so it'll be there for your mom, your wife, whoever, right there on Mother's Day.
So I got a couple texts yesterday, one of them from a buddy of mine I went to high school with, and Jake texted me and said he heard us on the radio, and they, right during the show, went over to Spanish Fork location, the Orem location.
Yeah.
And got a minky.
Nice.
So got 2 minkies, actually.
Oh, love it.
Because how could you not with those prices?
Well, yeah. When yesterday when we do live remotes there, they give us a little extra. So we were at 55% yesterday, and you might as well grab 2. Let's go.
So that's still going on, Zone 50.
Yeah, it'll go through tomorrow night.
Right.
So you can go through any of those Minky Couture locations and just say, I'm going to need a blanket, and I'm going to need to be a hero on Mother's Day. I cannot screw it up. I'm already got my gas station flowers, your 7-Eleven flowers. Don't do that. Please don't do that.
I mean, at least go to Smith's.
Yeah, exactly. Get a high class flowers, and then go make a good meal, and then give her a Minky blanket and give her the remote and leave her alone. Take the kids and just give her space.
And give her the day off.
Give her the day off.
Yep.
Don't let her think about food. Don't think about cooking anything. Don't think about cleaning up anything. Just make sure everything's all taken care of.
Well, if I did that, I'd be in big trouble this week because my daughter's not around. We've got 3. So it would be me.
Oh, the twins.
And Hank. And I don't think I could do that by myself. So we'll figure this out.
You'll take a good portion of it.
I got her a minky yesterday, though.
Yes, you did.
So I already gave it to her. She loves it.
Yeah.
Matches the new couch.
Good eye on that, too, by the way.
And it was a perfect match.
All right, Randy Bennett's going to join us coming up next. You've had a lot of battles with him throughout the years.
Yeah, this guy's tough, man. And I'm telling you, just couldn't be more pleased for him. A guy that was loyal as the day is long to St. Mary's. And I think that'll be why we talked to him some about is, what finally made it okay to leave and, what he's thinking about being back where he grew up in Arizona. So it'd be awesome to have Coach on, and people can get to know him outside the scowl and the oversized shirt on the sideline.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Randy Bennett next, right here on the Zone.
It's high noon up and down the Wasatch Front, and Scotty and the coach are just getting started.
Is Wemby going to be the MVP next year and start a run for a while?
I'm pretty sure he's going to end up being the best defensive player we've ever seen. Once his offense catches up, he's obviously great offensively, but I think that there's still things that you can do to game plan against him from the defensive side of the ball. Once you can't do that anymore, it's going to be him and LeBron at the top, and Michael Jordan's going to be third.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, LeBron's number 1.
Oh, no,
Sorry,
no.
I'm just going to keep it civil. I love you, man. I do. I really do. And everybody's entitled to whatever they feel.
Even if it's wrong?
LeBron's number 1, and it's not close.
This is Scotty G and the coach, Tim LaComb, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Scott Garrard and the coach, Tim LaComb. You hear us every day from 10 to 2 right here on the Zone. And joining us now, he is the new head coach of Arizona State, Randy Bennett. Kind enough to join us. Coach, how are you?
I'm good, Scott. How you doing?
Good.
Coach, what's up, my guy?
Oh, what's up, Tim? Good to be on the show. Excited about it.
Oh, so good. Hey, and I'm glad you're feeling better. And you had your introductory press conference yesterday. It was Arizona State. I'm just curious your thoughts having taken the job and assembled a staff and kind of started down that path.
Yeah, so it's I've been St. Mary's for 25 years, so it's a change of pace and only the second school that I've really been head coach at. So it's there's some new things, but I'm excited about the challenge. I mean, you're going in the Big 12. It's a really tough league and really good coaches. So I'm excited about that. Excited about getting back home. And I've always thought Arizona State was a really good job in all sports, but men's basketball especially. So it'll. Like I said, it's a good challenge. I was kind of ready for a new challenge.
Does the state of kind of college basketball and the leagues and everything else, did that make it a little easier for you to make the move just because it's becomes so fractured, and there's not a lot out there for the little guy anymore, it seems?
No, that's a great question. And, it wasn't the main factor, but it was on my mind that I just didn't want to get stuck in a league. I mean, we had a lot of success. Gonzaga left the WCC. So that's a factor. That's a factor on the strength of the WCC, and which eventually is a factor in whether you can get in the NCAA tournament with an at-large bid, which we have done a lot of times. BYU used to be in the league, and that really helped us. And we can get 3 teams in the league in the tournament because we were getting quad 1 games in our league, and we obviously played tough strength of schedule in non-conference. But it wasn't the reason I made the move. The reason I made the move is I loved St. Mary's and loved being there and was happy there. And I probably wouldn't have ever left there except for Arizona State. And that's the reason I did it, is that challenge and wanting to coach at Arizona State but would be my dream job being from here. And I just always thought I'd get back here, but it didn't happen, and then it finally happened. So
you kept winning too much. That was a you problem. You kept winning too much there.
Yeah.
Coach, you just couldn't get away from playing BYU in the Marriott Center. You just had to find a way to get back there, correct?
It's unbelievable. That last game up there, I was like, thank goodness, I'm done with this place.
Funny how the world works.
Here we go again.
But this league,
too funny.
This league is widely considered the best basketball conference in the country, and year in and year out, they're right there at the top when you look at the analytics. I mean, this is the cream of the crop when it comes to basketball. You looking for a new challenge? This is a big one. What do you see out of this league?
No questions. I mean, I don't know which one's the best. They're all 3 the best, in my opinion, as far as best basketball conferences in the country. I know this. I don't know if there's a conference that has tougher places to play on the road.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to go down to Arizona. I've been to BYU. I know what that feels like.
You ever been to Iowa State, Coach? That's a beast.
Exactly. And I think the toughest place I've ever been to play in is Kansas. And so you got all those, and Texas Tech's got it rolling. Baylor's got it rolling. Cincinnati has a great crowd. So, and I'm missing some, but there are some great basketball atmospheres and venues in this league. There's really good coaching. And that was the challenge me and our staff kind of wanted to take on. And for me, if it wasn't going to happen now, it wasn't going to happen. So I'm excited.
You've got your roster you started to put together. I don't know the rules, so if you can't talk about certain guys, I get it. But just generally, see, I used to know the rules, but I don't anymore. That's a me thing. But
second part, you got to follow them, Tim.
Yeah. Hey, come on, man. You and I were about as good a law-abiding citizens as there's been. We didn't cause much problem. But how do you feel about your roster and what you've been able to do since you got there, and your staff? The familiarity. I know there's a bunch of guys you've known for a long time.
Yeah, I'll reverse order. I'll talk about staff first. Great staff. And, I mean, Rick Croy came from Cal Baptist. He just went to the NCAA tournament. He took that program from being Division II to Division I and then made the NCAA tournament this year. He's a really good coach. Glad to have him on the staff. David Patrick, again, 2-time head coach, and I think one of the best recruiters in the country. It was at LSU and has Australia ties. But I had coached with both of those guys at St. Mary's, so I knew what they're about. I knew what they could do, and they both jumped in. And then one of my former players, Joe Rayhan, who was one of our top was one of our top assistants at St. Mary's, and he played for me or us, and he's a heck of a young coach. So he was the first guy I asked to say, I think this might happen. Would you like to do it? And he thought about it about 3 seconds.
That's the right guy.
And because he wanted the competition. It's pretty cool.
Right.
Anyhow, and then E.J. Rowland came with us. He was over there. He played for us at St. Mary's and was a really good point guard and played 20 years in Europe. And so this will be his 3rd year. And he's really good too. So he's got a great way about him. Be good in recruiting, whole deal. And still working on one. So that's the staff. I think I'm real excited about it, those guys. And then player-wise, I can talk about all the guys who turned in their paperwork, and that's 11 of them. I think we have a commitment from a 12th, and we have to get to 14. But we didn't have any when I came here. So, since the portal, we've in 3 weeks we've been able to get 12 players, and excited about them. Excited about the terms on which they came here, and I think that's everything. Like, you gotta make good decisions, and you had to, Tim, when you coach, you had to make good decisions on kids.
You had to stack them, right?
Yeah, but you still have to make good decisions, whether they're getting money or not, and they're all getting money now. So you got to be able to manage that, and I think it's all about making good decisions and getting the right guys and the guys that are coming to try and win a championship, not necessarily make the most money that they can make. And there's a healthy balance there, but you can complain about it all you want, whatever, but it's the way that it's going to go now, and I don't think it's going back. I think it's just going to.
Yeah, it doesn't ever go backward.
Getting better for these players.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I don't. You can't put the genie back in the bottle.
No, sir.
So, anyhow, I'm excited about a lot of them, and I think all of them will be able to return for at least a second year. So, and that's where we need to get. We need to get where you're retaining players. You're not trying to sign 12 or 13 guys in a year. So that's when we'll get good. When we're doing that, and we have guys who've gone through it before in the Big 12 and seen what it's like to play in Kansas or Iowa State or BYU or Arizona. You know the deal. You got to get experience.
Randy Bennett, kind enough to join us, new head coach at Arizona State. And for so many years, we knew what to expect out of St. Mary's teams. You could bring players in and out, but that system was just etched in stone. We knew how you guys were going to play. Now that you go to Arizona State, and especially in this world of the transfer portal where you have to essentially build a team from scratch, do you try to still recruit to your system, or do you adjust your system to the players you can get?
Both. We'll play a certain way, but when it's all said and done, we weren't doing anything tricky. We were making sure it was hard to score on us. We were making sure people didn't get second shots on us, and then trying to make sure we didn't turn the ball over and get good shots. And so most guys can do that if in time, if they'll let you coach them and they want to win, they'll figure it out. You know, the teams that are winning are doing that. So the better players you get, the more possessions you can play, and honestly, the better you'll be able to defend, and the better you'll be on the boards, and those are good players. So we want good players, and then we have to develop them and they have to let us coach them more.
So there's probably not a lot of people that know the lineage, but Randy, Coach, you worked for Hank Egan. Was that your first job working for Coach Egan at San Diego?
It was. It
Okay.
was.
So
in college, I went over there and volunteered my first year.
Exactly. So the great Rick Majerus, like if he had an idol in the world, it was Hank Egan.
Really?
Oh, yeah. He loved Hank Egan. He'd always talk about him. And in practice from time to time when things would get frustrating, he's like, I should just go over, I should go over and be the head coach at St. Mary's.
Yeah.
That's what he always used to say. I should just quit all this and go be the head coach at St. Mary's. But you also had a really, really close relationship with Coach Majerus. Talk about a little bit about your relationship to him, how you knew him, and maybe something to make somebody laugh here in Salt Lake and remember the big dog.
He was a legend. I think he's as good as anybody that's coached in college basketball.
I agree.
And if you're around him, I mean, he lived it. That was his deal. He's a really bright guy, and coached his guys hard, but they loved him, and he's just trying to win. And people are realizing now in Salt Lake how good he was.
Yeah.
And that's what happens with a guy like John Wooden or Rick Majerus, and I'll throw him in that category. He was such a good coach that he turned Utah in a program in basketball where people thought they were just going to win that league every year. And once Rick left, it didn't happen as much. And some guys have done a really good job there, but what Rick was doing there was incredible. And he was great. He would always he fell asleep on the phone one time when I was talking to him. And I mean, that's how hard he'd go. He called me to ask me about a recruit. I think it was Shante Johnson or somebody. Anyhow, we're talking about it. And then I answered one of his questions, and then there's no response. Coach. And he said, oh, yeah, sorry about that, Randy.
Faded off.
Fell asleep. I nodded off on you. Anyhow, he's got all sorts of classics, but great guy. It was great to me. He respected Hank, because Hank was a coach too with great integrity, and he was great for me. So he's both those guys are kind of two of my mentors and guys that I got in this business. Well, I got in the business with Hank, but I was around him, and then I got to know Rick because he recruited a couple of my dad's players at Mesa Community College. So I got to. That's how the relationship started. I started talking to him on the road about McKay McGrath was the guy.
Oh yeah.
And so I just found him fascinating, and how much he knew about basketball, as you know, Tim. And I think most people in Utah know, especially Wes. So anyhow, thanks for bringing him up.
I do the play-by-play for Utah State, and you were playing a game, and I was talking to the coaching staff before, and they're like, we know what we're going to get. This is going to be a tough team. They're going to rebound well. Every possession is going to count. But we know that our guys are, it's going to be a tough physical game. And how much pride do you take in that regardless of whatever year you're coaching, whatever guys you have, that everybody's going to recognize your team as being tough, physical, and playing the game the right way?
Yeah, well, if we're not going to win much, so they won't recognize anything. But I hit it already. But those are things you have to do to win, and especially when on the road, which is tough to do. If you want to win a league title, whether it's WCC or whether it's the Big 12 or whether it's the Big 10, you have to you're not going to do it without playing good defense and be and making tough plays and taking care of the ball and blocking out and rebounding. If you don't do that, you're going to be in trouble, and that will be the case in this league. So, yeah, I hope they see us as that. And if they do, then our guys are doing the right thing.
Well, Coach, I know you probably don't read much. You were a tough nut to crack. It's just getting to know you as a pal. And it's just because I was wearing the wrong logo. But over time, we got there. But you are around here. You're kind of a villain. I don't know if you know that. Like, people don't like Randy Bennett. They think he's this guy that just stalks the sidelines and uses his sorcery powers to win games. And so for me, it's important. When I left coaching about 5-6 years ago, that was a big step for me and a really lonely step. And what was crazy to me is the guys who were firmly in my life, like Dave Rose. I talk to those guys all the time, but it was all the ancillary coaches that it's almost like you fell off a cliff. And I got to give you a shout out, Coach. And this hopefully will let people know you're actually human in there. You got a heart. You're not like the Grinch. But Coach literally, with all the stuff he had going on, I don't think he missed much. He hit me nearly every week just to see how I was doing through those rough spots. And I just value that so much, Coach. And we'll do a campaign that, Randy ain't that bad, or he'll kick your tail on the court, but he's a good dude. I mean, something like that. We'll work it in there. But you just
we became friends through the whole process, and I have a ton of respect for BYU and their program, and Dave and you guys were great. You had the thing rolling too, and. So then we became friends, and we're friends. So once that happens, the wins and losses, they matter, obviously. But at the end of the day, it's the relationships and friendships you form, whether it's with your staff or other players. Like Rick, I never worked for Rick, and I never worked with you. And I wish I could have done both, but you guys are great friends. So
they're paying me pretty good here, but
in on me every once in a while.
They're paying me pretty good here, but if you want that last spot, you want to kick that up double. We might have something on our hands. Negotiating war, Coach. So keep me in mind.
Appreciate you.
Wouldn't be cheap. I know that.
Hey, appreciate your time, Coach. Thanks for making time for us, and we look forward to catching up with you down the line.
You guys are great. Good luck with the new show.
Thanks, Coach. Love you, man. I'll be in touch.
There he is, the new head coach at Arizona State, Randy Bennett. And he's just been a fixture for so many years against St. Mary's or with St. Mary's that it just feels weird to reference him in another university.
Was that okay to tell him he's kind of seen as a villain?
I think deep down he likes that.
Okay,
but also, I think he's very well aware of that. But also, I think it's good to know that there is a person behind that veneer.
The guy he spoke of, Rick Croy, in a heated game in Moraga once, we kind of were waiting for something and looking down at each other, and it was one of those, you looking at me, you want to go, it was one of those deals. And now, I know Rick so well, and we just laugh about it, But in the heat of the moment, crazy stuff happens.
Yeah.
And I sat next to Coach recruiting a couple times, or tried to. And he was really he didn't want to have a relationship with people he's playing. But toward the end, I just kind of broke through, and he came out to recruit some Utah kids. And, we went to lunch, and then he's just been a good dude. So dispel the myth. Colors in the lines, really, really good dude. I get it that he can be frustrating, but he's fighting for his team. But that's what we want to do on this show, is humanize villains.
Yeah, there we go. I had Utah State was playing St. Mary's in Logan, and it was an infamous game where an official made a call late that went against Utah State. It was a tie game. I remember because he took the shot attempt right by me, but Rylan Jones had a good look for three with about 2 or 3 seconds left. It wouldn't drop. And there was a scramble for the loose ball, and they called a foul on Justin Bean with 0.5 left. And Utah State, Gonzaga or St. Mary's was in the double bonus, kid hits, make 2 free throws, and the game's over. When you kind of thought you had the last shot to win the game. And the place was just irate, and the emotions were high. And I have a mic. You've seen our setup. We have our mic right by kind of the scorer's table, and to get the crowd noise and everything. And Ryan Odom, who a lot of people think Ryan Odom's just this placid, just, calm guy. He's a fiery son of a gun. And he said something to Randy Bennett, and Randy got upset, and Randy fired back. And I'm catching all of it on this mic that's right there, and I'm trying to turn it down because I don't want to get hit with an FCC violation. And then afterwards, you could see they met in the tunnel and kind of bro hugged it out, and it was fine. But, emotionally in those games, what fans see is, these dudes lay it all out on the line, and there's a lot of emotion out there.
Yeah, I had to survive the Dell of a dagger.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a brutal one. But, he hit it best, though. It does not, and we say this with other coaches, it does not matter what jersey or logo you're wearing, because at some point you'll probably be wearing another one or none at all.
Yeah.
So it's really just about that on-the-level relationship. And thanks for Coach. I know he's been not feeling great. He had some heart issues when he first got there. They're getting that figured out, but it was awesome to talk to him.
All right, 1230, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
You're locked on to Scotty G and the coach, Tim LaComb. Presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, I got to say that I disagree with Scotty G and the coach, and I also disagree with Tony Jones. I know this isn't what they wanted the voicemails about, but the real GOAT is Wilt Chamberlain. You won't be able to tell me otherwise, but I want to see what they have to say about that. The GOAT isn't LeBron. He's pretty far down that list, but Kobe Bryant's better than LeBron. But the real GOATs are Michael Jordan, and at the very, 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 very top is Wilt Chamberlain. See what they have to say about that.
I like it. By the way, that's the voicemail function on the KSL Sports app. Thank you, Connor, for chiming in. Hey, and we haven't gone back to this much, but we are curious to know what you are willing to do or willing to give up to ensure that the Utah Jazz get the number 1 pick. So if the Jazz on Sunday, it's announced that they've moved up in the lottery, they're number 1, they'll get AJ Demancia, and what are you willing to give up? Lloyd's willing to give up the heaters?
I wish he'd give up sarcasm and depression.
Yes, I'll give up the heaters. That's easy. I can do that. No problem.
But sarcasm and depression, not so much.
No, those are going to be really hard.
No, those are to peel those two away from him. Not depression, but
I was like, wait, what?
Pessimism.
There you go. Sarcasm and
sarcasm. Yes.
Skepticism.
Yes. Peel one of those off.
You're giving up.
Worst.
You're giving up Diet Coke.
It hasn't let you down.
I know. That's kind of who you are now. Just lean into it. That's the thing. When Lloyd started in this business, the most positive person on the planet. When he was interning back in the day at the old 1280.
Well, I mean, I was getting a lot of sandwiches, so yeah, very positive. And other things.
I never made you get dry cleaning.
And other things, I said.
Yeah.
You're the best.
Yeah. Lloyd did make a Subway run or 2.
Which I didn't mind because guess what? You bought.
I always bought you one.
I didn't mind.
Yeah.
I was fine with it.
It's not like the other guy was getting your dry cleaning done, too.
No, I didn't mind it.
Yeah. I read you as a seafood and crab guy back in the day.
No. I was...
you didn't go for that invitation? I ate that like it was...
I love that stuff.
I loved it. Some banana peppers.
Yeah, a little pickle.
Pepper.
Heavy pepper.
Heavy pepper.
And no Miracle Whip. It's got to be mayo.
Yeah, if mustard's fine for me. Just throw mustard on that.
Oh, really? Okay. I like it. All right, so now I forgot what were you even talking about? Oh, what you're willing to give up or do for the Jazz to get the number 1 overall pick. You're giving up Diet Coke. I'm giving up energy drinks.
And those are big deals for us.
Yes, that's a huge deal for us. I've got a fridge downstairs in my house that is chock full of rock stars.
Think of the money you'd save.
Yeah. Well, actually, yeah, I know that's right, huh?
Or you probably have a sponsorship deal.
No sponsorship. We're certainly open to it. But so if you've got something you're willing to give up or do, just go to the KSL Sports app, click on the voicemail function, and Lloyd will play the best ones on the air. because the draft lottery coming up on Sunday.
In response to Connor.
We got to get to Connor stuff here.
So I'm not going to. This is, you and I even talked about this in the interview process. I don't like argumentative radio for the sake of argumentative radio. I think much like quarterback room, the room. I think I heard it again twice today. I go out, get in my car, and I'm hearing somebody talk about somebody's wide receiver room. Can we just call it depth at the wide receiver position for Pete's sake?
I love that we finally found the thing that annoys you.
That annoys me to no end. In fact, we got to honk every time somebody says it. No, not honk, because that's already been taken.
Yeah.
But Connor, I saw where Dominique Wilkins had the same thought. Dominique Wilkins actually thought, if you're going to make somebody the GOAT, he's the guy that changed the game. I will say the only reason the way he's on top is because he's the tallest. I think the game has come leaps and bounds, and certainly Wilt was amazing in his time. But that's the beauty of this. I think everybody has their guy, and nobody's ever going to talk anybody into the other. I don't believe.
How about the other mic drop that he had was that LeBron's not even the best Laker.
I like
on that
Kobe
list.
better.
If I had to choose a game to win, they're like, hey, look, it's a game 7. You can pick a player to have on your team of the greats. I will probably go Michael 1, Kobe 2, but they're closer than a lot of people think. Like those two guys just had a certain will to win that others just didn't have.
And did it with a flair.
Yes, yeah.
No, I don't like to watch LeBron play because it's like doing construction. There's nothing really pretty about it. It's lower your
just
head. Sheer
force.
It's more force. Certainly his skill has gotten better through the years, and he shot the ball. He's a winner. There's no doubt about that. The All-Stars, the accolades, but I just can't tell my heart doesn't feel it for him. I don't watch him and think the way he handles the ball, or like Jordan did things back in the day, just almost the way he'd run and his tongue would be out of his mouth, and he'd release those dunks with his feet kind of. Yeah, to me, that was like, we've never seen this before.
Yeah. And I don't know if we've seen a player that took more joy in ripping out the hearts of their opponents, not just beating them, but doing the whole Indiana Jones thing, like ripping the heart out, showing it to you while it ignites on fire, and then laughing at you. And that was Michael and Kobe. Like, those are the two dudes that you knew took just sheer joy and enjoyment out of making you lose, and losing in the most diabolical fashion possible.
And each guy, like Kobe, for instance, he was able to play with Shaq, and but everybody, if you look through it, great players are going to play with great players. Jordan played with Pippen. John and Carl played together. So you're going to have great teammates, but the bottom line, and to your point, those guys rise above. They're the alpha. They take it over, and then above all else, they lead the team to winning.
Yeah.
And set the entire table.
Now, LeBron will always have a seat at that table in some way, shape, or form. If nothing else, than overcoming a 3-1 deficit against one of the greatest teams of all time, the Golden State Warriors, where he willed that team to come back.
I'm not down on him.
No, same. But no, he's got a seat at the table. I think there are two guys that are at the head of the table.
I'm going to serve someone else first.
Yes, and there you go. But appreciate the voicemail. Remember, that's the voicemail function on the new KSL Sports app. Just click on that bad boy, and you can interact with the show any way, shape, or form. All right, so NBA playoffs. Earlier in the show, I mentioned the number I have is 19.5, that I'm setting the amount of games Oklahoma City will take to win an NBA title. Coach is going the over. I'm going to take the under. I think they do it in 19 games. Coach, you still think they're going to win, but probably, 20, 21 games?
Yeah, just right over it. It won't be many more. But I just think the Spurs have proven they can really push them. I think the Timberwolves aren't going to win that series. I think they're just – I agree with they're going to run out of gas.
Tony said they're going to run out.
They're going to run out of gas.
I can totally see that, too.
Because I can already see it happening.
Their lack of depth to catching up with them.
Yeah, so I think the Spurs will push that thing 6-7, and then – the Knicks, I think Tony's right. I think the Knicks have a lot going for them, that momentum, and certainly the that would be a really heavily watched final. I just feel like they'll get pushed enough, but they'll still win. And so, yeah, I think they're going to go like 20-21.
Yeah.
To do it.
I just wish that there was a little bit more of a thought process that somebody could upset Oklahoma City. They're just playing so much better. But, again, the level of competition really hasn't been there.
But I do like the fact that they're just handling, like they don't play with their food. They did, last night got a little interesting, but then it was over before all that started. We didn't talk a lot last night about last night's games with Cleveland and Detroit, but much of the same, right? You saw Donovan had a better game. That game was actually pretty close late, and there was one of the saddest possessions where Harden got isolated out on the left wing and for some reason thought he was still young. And, kind of took a step, got a little off balance, lost the ball. It was brutal. And Donovan could have moved the ball to Donovan, got through and let Donovan play. But that's why when they said, everybody was excited about Cleveland, they signed Harden now.
No.
That's not good.
And honestly, look, there's so many people that know so much more about basketball than I do, but didn't this seem like it was just inevitable that Harden would, and not necessarily cost them games, but certainly not get them over the hump?
Oh yeah, there's no way. In my mind, it was a foiled proposition from the start. You needed to go out and sign a big, long, active wing that could guard half the floor. That was going to be way more important than a very aged, albeit talented, one-on-one skill player. But you watch defensively, it's Detroit's seeking him out. They're seeking Donovan out. They're still trying to play that style of ball. And in the end, last night, it was physicality once again that won the game.
And I think that's been kind of the recurring theme. Minnesota won their first-round series and will probably give San Antonio some fits throughout the remainder of this series because of their physicality. San Antonio themselves are very physical. Oklahoma City, very physical. They got everybody complaining about the officials. They've got under the Lakers' skin where you've got Austin Reeves losing his mind. You got LeBron there with them going, yeah, you tell him, Austin. You go, you get him. And then you got the head coach going off in the media too. When you start playing that card, it just feels like the series is already lost at that point.
It's kind of a loser mentality, and I'm shocked that the Lakers had as good a season as they did because to me they're a dysfunctional group.
Yeah, Bronny really put that team on his shoulders.
But honestly, this actually goes back to the GOAT conversation. Like, you don't decimate every place that LeBron leaves, it's like the thing gets milked and decimated to darn near nothing. It's him, and he's going to have the ball a lot. And obviously, they made the move for Luka. He's out now, so LeBron's just in his – he can just go try to get 30 every night.
Do you think if LeBron isn't somewhat on a retirement tour that Luka would be playing? I think Luka could play if he wanted to.
You think he could?
I think he could. And I think he's like, look, you know what? What a great way to set the table for me next year. Have LeBron and his boy fizzle out in the playoffs, get manhandled, and then I show up and I take us to the Western Conference Finals or whatever the case might be. I don't think, I don't know if he's that diabolical, but I could certainly think that.
I wouldn't put he's pretty diabolical on the court.
Yeah,
he does some crazy stuff, so you wouldn't know. But it's the end of an era, and it's like Tony said, it's the face of a new NBA. All these guys we just talked about, Harden, LeBron, these guys have been dominating it for so long, and now you got Wemby and Shea's obviously doing what he's doing, and so it's one of the. It almost feels like one of those changing of the guard moments.
And so you got two games coming up later on tonight in the NBA. And so you do have another game between the Knicks and the 76ers and the Spurs and the Timberwolves. Coach and I will give you our thoughts on how those games play out later on tonight. Also, coming up in about 15 minutes from now, the great Craig Bolerjack will come and hang out with us in studio. And should we do this next, or should we wait for Bowler to do the Tankathon?
Let's do it with him here.
Okay. So we'll do the Tankathon coming up at 1:30, and maybe we'll see if Bowler can provide a little good luck in our final edition of the Tankathon, where we find out exactly where a random internet, I don't even know what to call it. Site, random website. Coach will hit the button. We'll find out exactly where the Utah Jazz will be picking. We've had them at 2, and yesterday they were at 7.
2 and 7. So we'll see what today is. I just did a little test here. I won't reveal, but, man, that would be good. All right, hit reset. Make sure the balls are in the right containers, and we'll wait for Bowler to come in and oversee the drawing.
Yes, he's the Ernst & Young of this thing, making sure everything's on the
Bowler and Bowler.
Yeah. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Scott Garrard alongside the coach, Tim LaComb. Great song.
This is Wigan. Check out Soul Hat. They're going to be that's a band you like. There's not a ton of listeners. They're a band that was really popular in the 90s in Austin. They're kind of getting together and playing some more now. Great stuff. Fast stuff, slow stuff, funky stuff, vibey stuff.
So I drive Brody to school in the mornings. He's got like early morning football practice, and he'll always kind of pick the music. Usually it's like, I don't want to listen to anything, I'm tired. But he actually said the other day, it was like, what's that one band the coach told you to listen to? I'm like, the Mother Hips? And he's like, yeah, let's listen to that. So there you go.
And you dug it.
You've converted 2 of us now.
That's good. We should have gone and seen the show, but next time.
I can't.
You didn't trust me. No, you just didn't trust me.
No, that was no.
You're like,
no.
I'm not going to go sit with this guy. You didn't trust me yet, but you will.
I trust you. It's just I think I had
other obligations.
Something suddenly came up. I can't remember what it was.
Okay, hold on. George Glass.
All right. By the way, Ryan Smith on his Twitter account, and I'm sure Instagram and everything, kind of gives some more detailed plans on what the arena will be going through this upcoming summer and then the following summer as well. And so the lower bowl is all done. If you've been to a Jazz game or a Mammoth game, you've seen that lower bowl where all the sight lines are where it needs to be. Now the focus is on the upper bowl. They're going to do the south side this summer and then the north side next summer. But what you're going to see is some really cool things like a gondola on the side with some seats that nobody really does anywhere. Then you're going to do then it's going to be very tiered here on the south side as well. So several different tiers going up. It kind of has like a concert house feel to it.
That looks amazing. Absolutely. And sightlines obviously have been a little bit of an issue. First year, this year's been better. But, man, they're going to put the whole thing together and do one end one year and the other the next.
And then on the north end, and the reason they wanted this, and I know this doesn't make for great radio, but essentially you've got heavy tiers on the south side and very little, if any, of that on the south side, or north side, excuse me, because that's where the visitors are, whether it's a visiting bench in the NBA or in hockey, and they want that to be the rowdy part of the arena where people are just loud and it's just barreling down on top of the visiting opponents.
I love that. That's great. Very, very well thought out. If you watch the way things have been done, they tend to do great research and they get it exactly the way they want it.
Yeah. So it's going to have a really interesting feel when you're back in there coming up in late September or October. It's going to have a much different feel on one side, and then the next side is right there behind it. So I'm fired up, man. I love what they're doing. The parking structure also is expected to be done before the start of next season.
That's right. So hopefully,
You've already got prime parking. I know Lloyd is annoyed by your parking.
I park on the curb, but hopefully I can park in that big bad boy.
I wonder if that thing will be big enough to hold the RV. If Locke can park that in the parking structure.
Just ripping the top off it, taking the first corner.
Oh, I love it. All right, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Like a shaved top.
Exactly.
That'd be awesome.
Just metal.
Accordion right there on the top, just ripped off. All right, Craig Bolerjack joins us next in studio. That's right, the great Craig Bolerjack joins us next. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Talk.
biggest name.
You're locked on to Scotty G and the coach, Tim LaComb, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, folks, time to classy up the joint. The great Craig Bolerjack joining us in studio right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. All right, so Bowler, a long time ago, you kind of chose this song as your intro song. Now, we have a couple people, Chewbacca, who, by the way, posted a very impressive AI photo of you.
Oh, boy.
He is he's quite a wizard with that.
Look at that. And so he says it needs to be sharp-dressed man.
We used to do ZZ Top, if you remember.
Yeah,
we did.
So we can go back to ZZ Top if you want.
I know what happened in the day that Hands went freaked out on me one day.
He did.
Why Bowler? Why Z? I said, look, sharp-dressed man, legs, whatever. How?
Is there any reason he doesn't like them?
I don't know.
No. Okay. Was that something that was forced upon him at one point?
The thing is, with Hands, there's no rhyme or reason. Like movies, music.
Well, that's a crazy way to live.
It was an odd.
He's missing out.
It surprised me that he was that upset. So we go Highwayman, but you know what, Lloyd? While we're here, and to go with that image, I mean, let's go.
ZZ Top.
ZZ.
All right. Yeah, trying to figure him out on music and movies and TV shows, impossible. You just couldn't.
I feel like with the two of you in here, I should just go out in the hall.
Oh, stop it.
You two are legends.
Oh, we had fun here. I tell you. Well, it was a different time, different place.
Yep.
But these are pretty nice digs, by the way. And I hear there we go. Now that livens it up.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Hey, don't you love it a bit? Like,
spinning the guitar.
Then they're waving them on through.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Come on through.
Come on through.
You seen the documentary, right?
Yes.
Unreal.
Tell you the journey. And then, of course, Dusty passing.
Dusty just passed.
Yeah.
And Frank's no longer drumming.
Yeah. He was back there just.
It's the Reverend and the bass tech, and I don't know who's playing the drums, but they're coming through town this summer.
Yeah, I'm going to go. I'm going to go and check it out. Yeah.
So you have one of the three?
But, he carries it because.
He's the Reverend.
He is the master. Yeah.
So. What's your off-season like? How you holding up?
Holding up okay.
The shoulder doing okay?
Shoulder's good. Repair every summer. What you have to do.
A little duct tape and baling twine. And,
staple, stitch, glue.
Getting 40's hard, isn't it?
It is. That 40 birthday was a tough one.
That was just 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I just turned 42. But, no, I tell you, off-season's good. I've slept enough. And, when Lloyd calls on a Friday or a Thursday and says, hey, what are you doing? I said, I thought maybe you guys would be out and about. And I thought, I'll get in the car and go down and see those guys. Instead, I wanted to see the old haunt. I spent 13 years here.
I know. It's crazy,
and
isn't it?
Has changed drastically.
Yeah. Yeah,
I could barely get in the door.
Oh, they don't mess around with security around here.
No, not at all.
You're like, I'm Craig Bolerjack. Just open up the door. This building was pretty much built by me, so just let me in.
I asked, the lady goes, yes, and I said, I'm just here to do some radio. And then I said, I used to work here. She goes, oh, really? She's about a nice lady, 30 or so.
Yeah.
But, she doesn't know. Back in the sports beat days, come on, man.
Pull up the YouTube videos. You and Alema, Zippy back in the day. Hey, so Sunday, big day.
Big day.
We've thrown it out there. We're asking people what they're willing to do or give up in terms of getting that number one overall pick. But, Coach has been saying, look, it doesn't have to be number one. There's so many players in this draft.
I did some research myself last night and last week when we were talking about what, they're trying to do with tanking. I know you guys have been doing a tank special.
We've done nothing but talk tanking for about a couple of years here.
One
way or another.
I looked at ESPN. I looked at SI. I looked at Sporting News, The Athletic. I mean, everybody has their own take. But you know what? It's funny because really no one knows where the pick will actually land to whom, right? Even though they're lining it up. The one I pulled out this morning and just brought was the SI, I believe, and it goes, Washington with the number one. There's others who think Oklahoma City is going to sneak in, kind of like a Dallas plus.
Oh man, if that happens,
there'll be riots.
There'll be riots for sure.
But you get Washington, you get Indiana, you get Brooklyn. This one particularly has a Jazz, at number 4. I've talked to a couple of the Jazz personnel, and I always ask the same thing to general managers. I mean, this time of year, do you go for a specific position, or are you looking for the best player? And 20 times out of 21 times you ask that, you'll say we're going for the best athlete, the best player, unless you have a major hole in a position that you've got to fill, like probably in Memphis, right? They're looking for guard play, point guard play specifically. But I think it's intriguing to see, the Jazz in this particular draft at number 4. This kid's is a talent out of North Carolina.
Yeah.
I did watch some film on him, Timmy. Caleb Wilson, who's a 20-point guy, rebounder, stretch the floor, plays two ways, defender, which, again, I think is going to be the biggest issue on not Sunday, but draft night. There's 2 nights of draft, round 1 and 2, which is going to be fun always. But, it's a coin flip still. You don't know who is ahead of you. You don't know if trades come down and someone jumps in, moves up, moves down. It really, I think drafts are just fascinating on how it works out.
I love it. It's one of my favorite things, NFL draft, NBA draft, because when we talk about generational drafts, we look at that 03 draft, where you had LeBron, Carmelo, Dwayne Wade. But guess what? There's always a Darko. And,
yes.
There's going to be a Darko, maybe not to that extreme, but there'll be a Darko in this draft. There'll be a Michael Olowokandi. There's going to be someone in this draft, even as loaded as it may be, that's going to be like, hey, remember that schlub was in with all those other guys?
Sam Bowie.
Oh, and then he breaks the leg, right? Bowie later, goes and pops the tibia, I guess it was. I remember that video, man. It was just like kind of hanging.
Yeah, that was rough.
Really rough.
Ben Simmons.
Yeah. Hey, don't forget, too, probably the greatest second-round pick of all time is Nikola Jokic.
Yeah.
I mean,
Taco Bell commercial.
So, just the whole draft, because that's the point. These things are all neatly put together and hype, and they're all positioned in there. These guys have no idea.
No.
They're just simply trying to, listen to the best they can. But any draft is the truth. Any draft stands on its own. And Jokic was a second-round draft pick.
Unreal.
I mean, how many guys passed on that, right, and didn't know or didn't feel it? But that's the beauty of it. It's not always going to be those first. And that's why I feel like the Jazz could draft anywhere from, 1 to 7 in this thing, and they'll find a guy that works for them.
Scotty, you know this, and we talked about it again during another time, that I'm not sure that top 5 picks, how many actually turn out to be what they're advertised to be. And I think with younger players now more than ever, the importance of the interview, the importance of the psychological breakdown on who they are, where they've been in AAU, because it's spoon-fed, there's money, NIL. I think that's now maybe one of the most important decisions that the general managers have to do with the help of the rest of their staff, is to make sure they sit down and do you fit our system, knowing what the Jazz are trying to build, and every other team, but what the Jazz personality is now, and how do you fit within that? And are you coachable? Are you willing to wait your turn? Unless, obviously, you're so dynamic and so talented, you've got opportunity to start, or you've got an opportunity to be a nightly rotational player. But I think it's the mental part of this that intrigues me the most with your 18 and 19-year-olds that are more prevalent, dominant now in the draft. And I think that's probably where you stumble on making those decisions, and you don't get the guy that you think has the work ethic or the ability to connect in the locker room, and all of a sudden you've got a problem. And it usually shows up in year 1 and definitely in year 2. That's why I salute Keontae for really diving into himself last summer and saying, look, I got some anger. I'm going to fix it. I'm going to work on it. And it's really been an amazing transformation. And you got to give the Jazz and Keontae just a load of accolades for just turning it around.
So I look at a guy like Darren Peterson at Kansas, and he's come out and he said he took too much creatine, and that made him cramp up. But I love watching Will Hardy interact with his players, because he's got a really fascinating way of coaching guys really hard. And then when the practice is over, the game is over, it's done. And then we can go and have a bite to eat in the cafeteria and have a good laugh about it. Like, I think that's really rare to be able to coach somebody hard and then let it go, and everybody's good. And it has to be the right player, too. And so I worry about a guy like Darren Peterson. Can Will Hardy coach him hard and then realize, I'm just trying to make you better and not take it personally? Because Darren Peterson went through Bill Self's Hell Week, and he pretty much lost him the rest of the year because of it. He worked him too hard.
Well, he pulled himself out on a couple of occasions and seemed to be disconnected. Talented, absolutely. It's talked about top 3, and he's going to be, he'll help someone, but to what degree? That's where you kind of get scared to say, am I going to use this pick and roll the dice?
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of GMs have to do, and their jobs depend on it. Coaches' jobs depend on it, Tim, as you know, on who you get and who fits and who is coachable, because a lot of times you get players who believe, look, I'm a top 5. You pick me for a reason and I'm ready to go. But in reality, the changeover from college to the NBA, and I've watched it for years, it's really amazing. I mean, college is one thing from high school to college, but the pros, you're in a man's world with pressure that is beyond, unless you live it, you don't know it. And I think a lot of players are now putting their phones down and just trying to concentrate on themselves, which is a good thing.
Yeah, but the reason I bring that up about Darren Peterson is that's the narrative. Like, he doesn't want to work hard. There's all this extracurricular stuff about Darren Peterson. Well, there was a lot of that stuff about Ace Bailey.
Absolutely.
In last year's draft, Jazz take him, and it ends up that most of that was false.
And honestly, I'll chime in. I think the biggest reason there is because they did their homework. It's like you said, Bowler. The investment that's being made here, there's no way that you're going in and not fully trying to understand this person the very best you can. And the way you do that, you talk to people. You talk to tons of people that know them and have known them through the years. I mean, can you imagine if I got a hold of people that knew you back in the day and some of the stories I could get, my gosh, from the fraternity and football days. But honestly, it's
thank goodness no iPhones there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they call every assistant coach. They call, in some cases, I know they've called broadcasters before because they see how they travel. They see them on the road, how they interact with authority. So they're going to do their level best. And if this is that with Darren Peterson, who's going to get that intel, who's going to have it the best, and who's going to be able to feel confident making that decision. And, last year the Jazz, I just know the narrative was that Ace was obstinate, that he was a chucker. He didn't really understand how to play, so he just shot when he got in trouble. And the crazy part, from the very first night to the end of the year, I didn't see it more than he got himself in a couple tough spots where he had to shoot it late. But I didn't see him seeking out bad shots. He really, over the course of the season, did a great job of just reading the room and attacking when he could. But what's the most important thing here? The Jazz knew exactly what they had. Yeah. They knew what kind of kid this was, how hard he would work, how bad he wanted to be on the team. And they obviously knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, the negative was that he didn't want to be here. And again, that's that same storyline that is repeated year after year after year, that the Jazz is not a landing zone, right, for free agents and draft picks would rather not. Well, he made a change. He went from one agent to another. Things then totally turned. And I tell you what, if there's a picture that I remember so well, who got off the plane with Ace Bailey that night coming into Salt Lake City was a former Jazz man who's part of the staff in Carlos Boozer. And his son obviously is going to be a top 3. And Booz could land up with his son right here in Salt Lake. I mean, you just don't know how it plays out. But it was good to have a player who knew the city that on that flight could actually give him some insight. And I can't tell you how many times in my career that I've talked to former players who have come and gone who say to me, man, I had a good here. D. Will. I think D. Will, if he was sitting here, he'd say the same thing. Booz says the same thing. And I think that the stress, the pressure, and also these guys all believe they have to have a shoe contract, and they all believe that they have to have a billboard in downtown Manhattan.
By the third week.
And that's what they've been told.
Yeah.
And, it just doesn't happen that way until they realize that they've got to go out and bust their tail. And are they coachable? And you make a great point, Tim. I mean, you coached. You know these personalities. I mean, all of them are different. I give Will a lot of credit. He understands, I think, and Popovich handled his star players from all indications that when I was around him, he didn't give Tim Duncan slack. He didn't give Ginobili or Parker that much slack. He tried to treat each player, on the same page. But then again, personally, you have to treat, again, a player and know their tendencies, how to push a button and maybe want to lay back a little bit. But you're right. At the end of the day, you got to be able to get on the plane and discuss the next game and not let that, harbor bad feelings.
I really liked Kevin Love kind of preemptively telling these players, saying, you don't know how good this is here. You don't know anything different. Trust me, I've been with a bunch of different teams. I've been around a bunch of different ownership groups. Your owner knows your name. You've got great facilities. They're going to cater to every need. You don't know how good it is here. And I think that's worth its weight in gold to a lot of these young guys who, are thinking, okay, when I get my next contract and I'm a free agent, I can go here, here, here. And the realization I can make as much money and be taken care of much better here than in other places.
Most approachable guy, veteran I've been around.
Yeah.
I mean, up front. Talked about his struggles, which I think, again, is such an important issue with younger players to know that stress and anxiety is real and that he has worked on it and he continued to play. And Nurk comes in here, who's been jumping around and has landed in a spot that he feels that he has contributed and wants to be a part of. I mean, you're right, guys. I mean, the Jazz have a building that just across the street that's continued to be renovated. Delta Center has just a magical feel to it. And the facilities are continuing to be built next to the Mammoth out at Southtown. I mean, you want high class. I mean, that's high class.
And it's come so far. I was in my previous life, of 6 months, the job I had right before this one, I was working for the Jazz. And I was doing camps and clinics and had the great fortune of doing a camp for 30 minutes with Daryl Griffith.
Oh,
and
wow.
So Daryl and I hung out and, kids were playing and we stood on the side and were able to visit about it. But the coolest part was I was like, what was it like? And he's like, well, the franchise was just here. And the cool part, I got his number in my phone too.
Nice.
So I can stay in touch with Daryl.
Let's call him. What do you say?
Yeah, Griff, Golden Griff. So I'm waiting for the horn, man.
I know that's the thing. I was kind of
trying to set the bit up.
I was signaling to Lloyd.
No, in total. So I said, what was it like when you first got here? Did you like it? He goes, well, I liked it. He said, but I walked into the office, very first day, and they had milk crates instead of bookshelves. And I was looking around, and all the filing was in milk crates in the Jazz offices. So he said, I walked out and found a payphone and called my agent, and he said, hey, we make sure that these checks are going to cash. So
there was a time even
that was a little iffy.
Wasn't sure. They actually had offices here at Triad Center.
Oh yeah,
I think on the 5th floor.
Really, right in the beginning.
Checkets was up there, Frank, and yeah, those were the earlier days. Maybe a year or two after they got here, they found a space here at Triad, and when I was working here, they were here. So that was '85, and so how things have changed.
Yeah, just a bit. Wow,
unreal.
No more milk crates.
No more milk crates, man. No.
When you look at overall where the last 2 or 3 years has been hell for broadcasters, for coaches, for front office, everybody's struggled with this. Now that you turn the page and after the Triple J trade and everybody gets healthy and who knows whether it's the number 1 or number 8 overall pick, you hope in some way, shape, or form that they can contribute to actually turn the page on this and say, we're winning next year. That's the goal, is to win games. No more development. I mean, obviously you're going to develop, but the number 1 priority is winning. Is it going to be hard for a player who has probably been told a lot, hey, how's that hangnail going? Oh, you should probably sit out a week or so. Yeah, let's take it easy. To now
contusion.
Being like, hey, you know what? So you're bleeding out of your eyelids. We don't care. Go out there and play.
Can you see me?
Yeah. Well, I see. I see 3 baskets when I shoot. Shoot for the middle one.
Yeah.
Is there going to be a transition there?
I don't think so, Scotty. I tell you, the last 3 weeks, the last 20 games or so, I'm not going to lie, it was one of the biggest challenges that I've had in my career. COVID would be another.
Oh, yeah.
100 games off the Jumbotron at Delta Center, with partitions between myself and Big T. Harpring was still in the mix at that time. This was, look, we knew the score. The fans knew what was going down. My job basically, and some fans liked it, didn't like it, and I get it. We had different player basically introducing themselves to Jazz Nation every night. And there's all the guys that, they signed. They played their tail off because it was an audition to see if by chance their skill set would fit with what, the Ainges and Will and Justin Zanuck wanted. And defense is all going to be key here. I mean, defense is really look what Oklahoma City's doing right now. The Jazz are going to have to build a defensive wall, and they've got an offensive wall with defensive ability too, with Triple J and Marketing, and if Kessler does re-sign or the Jazz re-sign him as a restricted, so that is daunting. But the last 20 games after the Triple J trade, there was a total different feel that, you know what, it's over. We're going to continue to play, continue to evaluate, and that's what the Jazz did. And they brought in different players. And I got to give Jazz fans a hell of a lot of credit. I've been in so many arenas. We talked about this before. And Scotty, Tim, programs that are strong and those that are not, college, NBA. And I just am amazed of just the constant support and the number of people that showed up at the Delta Center to watch and I think to be a part of the growth process, to understand Sinzabaugh, to understand Filipowski, to understand when Collier played and watch Keontae make a step this year. I'm not blowing smoke, but I tell you, I just was like, wow, these guys could go home and not spend a nickel here. But instead, they decided to be a part of it. And I hope next year we all just kind of revel in that.
Good to hang out for another segment.
Paycheck coming. I mean,
yes,
it's in the mail.
I'll pay you today.
Hey, I'm kidding, man. I'll stay all day. What am I doing?
We can go down to the McDonald's down there, and I'll buy you a burger.
Diet Coke.
Anymore, that's about as much as retirement.
Diet Coke.
Oh, of course.
Okay, I'm in.
Well,
I'm in.
Fries might push it over the top, but
okay, just a Big Mac and a DC.
We got you. That's your great Greg Bolerjack in studio with us, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Take a quick break, come back, and we'll have the Tankathon. See exactly where Coach hits the button and see where the Jazz are drafting. Coming up next, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.
The Jazz, the Mammoth, and the Utes, Cougars, and Aggies. When it comes to sports in Utah, we've got you covered. This is Scotty G and the coach, Tim LaComb, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Man, I would give up golf for the whole summer to get the number one pick. And I got new clubs. So what a sacrifice. But we know it's not happening. But we can dream. Go Jazz.
Got a guy willing to give up golf. Okay, with Tyler.
With new clubs.
You got new clubs. We're going to need you to give up golf permanently.
Forever.
Oh. I mean, look, Coach isn't going without Diet Coke for just a summer. I'm not going out without an energy drink for just a summer. No, we're making lifestyle changes if the Jazz get the number one pick.
These golfers.
Where's your commitment?
Yeah.
These darn golfers.
I've got some friends that are uber dedicated to golf.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They love it. I mean, it's priority number one.
I mean, I kind of gave it up. I mean, people are glad I did. But, it's a frustrating sport. Because every shot's different. But that's the challenge, right?
Yeah.
I never had it. I gave it up, but it was never mine to give up.
Yeah. By the way, Tyler, thanks for the voicemail. If you want to leave us a voicemail on what you're willing to give up or do for the Jazz to get that number one overall pick, we still got about a half hour of the show. Just download the KSL Sports app. There's a voicemail function on it. Click on that. It's on the bottom of the screen. And you can leave a message. If you think you're going to sneak one past Lloyd, get us into trouble, you're not. He is screening them. So yeah, mind your P's and Q's. All right, the great Craig Bolerjack joining us. And Buller, we've done the Tankathon.
Yes.
And so there is a draft lottery generator online. There are several of them. And so the first time we did it, the Jazz picked 2. Yesterday, they picked 7. You ready to go today?
I'm ready.
All right.
Name me a famous second pick for the Jazz in history. Anybody?
It was Griff, right?
Yeah, Daryl Griffith. There you go.
The Golden.
Perfect. All right, here we go. And you've got a good sight of it. You can see it, okay? The ping pong balls are being loaded in.
Load it.
Vanna White's up there.
Now they're just going to elevate them. Okay?
Okay.
The commissioner just hit the button, and we're off. Starting at the bottom, 14, Charlotte. 13, Miami. 12, OKC by way of the Clippers. 11, Golden State.
Okay.
10, Chicago down 1 spot.
Uh-oh.
9, Dallas down 1 spot. 8, Milwaukee by way of New Orleans. 7, the Memphis Grizzlies, ladies and gentlemen. Number 6, it's your Brooklyn Nets. 5, those Washington Wizards.
Oh, Sacramento's up.
4, your Utah Jazz.
Wow, right in the middle.
3, Indiana Pacers. 2, pesky Sacramento Kings.
Number 2.
And the Milwaukee. Giving it to Atlanta. So Atlanta would end up once again with a crazy, crazy 9-jump first-round pick, like they did when they selected Risache.
Wow.
So there's your. So we went 4, 7, and 2. All over the dial.
All over.
What's your gut?
Gut top 5. Gut tells me 5. And you know why? I think it's because, again, the luck of the draw never has gone the Jazz way in upping their status in the lottery. I think something odd will occur. And just like, you punch the button, I mean, Atlanta, last year Dallas.
And that's all it takes is one roll.
On this
Just one roll.
The mock draft I've got is Washington, Indiana, Brooklyn, and Jazz at 4. And then you followed it up with Sacramento at 5, Memphis, Atlanta, and Dallas. That's your top 8.
So I do think that it's a situation where the Jazz have been good partners to the NBA. All right, we've been a good soldier. We're never in the bad in terms of headlines. You never have players behaving too badly.
Luther Wright, not
yeah, I'm talking about recent history.
I know, I'm just joking.
Yeah, Olden Polynice, it's been a while since he pulled people over in Tooele.
The sheriff,
so it's been a minute. All right. So recent history, nobody's embarrassed themselves. The franchise has brought no embarrassment to the NBA whatsoever. Maybe sometimes the fans got a little out of hand, but they happen everywhere. And we just keep our mouth shut. We do our job. You got mad at us for tanking, doing the exact same thing everybody else has been doing, but for some reason we're the poster child of that.
And got in trouble on a day they beat Miami on the road.
Yeah.
And then you get the word that a $500,000 fine comes down.
And a team that has never jumped up in the playoffs or in the lottery. It's never happened. As Ryan Smith said, and I'm glad he said this vocally, sooner or later the math's got to math. And this year, the math is going to math.
Well, Keontae will be there.
They'll be top
to represent.
They'll be top 3.
Scooter going to town on that one.
They're going to go top 3.
Top 3.
I don't know if it'll be number 1, but I think we'll be top 3.
And you said top 5. I'll stay just like this, so nobody will know anything. Because I think they're going to. How low can they fall?
8.
They're gonna take 8th.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't want to be the bearer of bad news.
Boy.
But I've been very
Lock your
optimistic.
doors.
I've been very optimistic in the past. So I'm giving that a rest.
I was optimistic last year. I remember this like it was yesterday. Walked into my office, sit down, said, all right, here we go. 17 wins. You think about ping pong balls and odds and what have you. And all of a sudden you get to that top 5. And at number 5, the Utah Jazz. I thought, wow, all that. And then Dallas with a 1.8% chance jumps into the 1 spot. Yeah, that was a tough one to to look at.
There's two things that, okay, if they fall to 8, okay, fine. That sucks. Don't like it. But there's two things that if it happens, NBA fans here in Utah should riot. Number one, if Dallas jumps up and gets the number 1 overall pick, riot. And number two, if Sacramento, after the Jazz won the coin toss against Sacramento to pick, be in the 4 and the 5, if Sacramento in the spot that the Jazz could have had they lost the coin toss, jumps up into the number 1, number 2, or number 3 spot, riot. You look, turn cars over, do whatever you want to do. I don't care. No, I obviously don't, but you know what I mean. You have every right to be upset.
The other great thing is this has a countdown clock. So if you are wondering right this very second, it's in 1 day, 23 hours, 21 minutes, and 45 seconds.
How often can you reset that or hit?
You can do it all day long.
All day long?
All day long.
So the algorithm or whatever, it just constantly is changing.
All right, real quick, do it again. See where the Jazz are.
I'll break the rule and do it again.
Okay.
Because we weren't supposed to, but I will.
Okay, do it.
6.
Oh, jeez.
Again?
Wow.
Sacramento jump up. Dallas jump up.
It was Sacramento.
At 1?
Sacramento 2, Dallas 3.
Dallas was up 5.
Oh, wow.
Hey, I'm just going to say,
and
our
Washington
guy,
won it.
Alex Annapolis has done it only 3 times, and the Jazz have gotten the top pick 3 times.
Really?
He's only done it 3 times.
Alex.
Don't do another one. Well, maybe do another one.
Send Alex. Look, no offense to Keontae. Alex needs to go.
Because he tried it the first time a long time ago, and he said he landed on it, and he's like, okay, I'm not doing it again. But now I've had him do it a couple times. Now he's done it twice, and he's won 2 more times.
Hey, I remember going to, and you knew this, and Tim, you knew this as well because of your broadcast connections, but Media Day last year, I remember talking to Booner, and I said, what do you think? He goes, you know who's going to make the jump? It's Keontae. And I was like, okay, why? You spend some time, in the gym? He's like, well, yes, but he spent a lot of time working on himself outside of the gym.
Exactly.
And to Booner's credit, he nailed it. He said, watch Keontae. He's going to have a big jump this year. He's going to represent the Jazz at the lottery. Coach has done a great job explaining why he's a good representative from where he's at or where he was to where he's at, both as a player and just as a human being. But, Coach, you saw it up close and in person, too, with him.
Oh.
What a great story.
What surprised me the most was when I saw him for the first time, he walked up to Big T and I and just stuck out his hand and said, guys, good to see you. Like, whoa, really? But no, it was heartfelt. I mean, you could feel that he was glad to be back. He did another important thing was to invite players to Dallas to work out. And, that's a leadership decision, Tim, when you say, follow me. I'm the guy. It's me. I'm going to decide that we're going to do this as a team. And it impacted, I think, the front office. It impacted, Will Hardy's maybe approach on how to handle Keontae in year 3. But, no, he was much more engaged. He seemed to have more fun. He seemed to be out of a funk. And he was openly talking about it at times. I think, as the year wore on, he just wanted to talk hoop. But I think he did go through, and some people have to do it in their own way and let some of that go. And if you don't, then it's really kind of just hangs on your back. And maybe it's a lesson for all of us. Let it go. And I think he did a good job on trying to find out who he is and what he wants to be. He wants to be an all-star. He wants to be considered one of the top guards in the league. And you know what? It takes a hell of a lot of work to accomplish that. And maybe the first step is what he did last summer.
And I do feel like it's not, this is a thing with so many players. And I just love that this day and age, the guys can come out and talk about stuff like that. I saw a special last night with Kevin Love. And Kevin was instrumental in this process because he, Keontae went and did this, but then to have Kevin Love sitting next to you in your locker, having gone through it too, it's a sounding board, it's a mentor, it's somebody there. And I watched Keontae close. And if you were, I did a podcast with Locke right before the season started. And he asked me, whose pivotal year is it? And I'm like, it's, Keontae's, it's a make or break thing. Cause he was taken as a guy who's going to be a guy. And, he's shown moments, but he hasn't been a guy. Consistency makes a guy. And I just, from the very beginning, just to see his mindset, the way he was more locked in with his teammates, talking to Will on strategy, before games, you saw it. He and Will sitting down on the sidelines where coaches and players sit, shooting, having a 3-point contest down there early. And so, yeah, Keontae's a perfect example, but I do think this mental health thing, I'm so glad that guys can talk about it now. I was old enough to remember, as a kid, men don't cry.
Right.
You don't show that. That's a weakness.
Oh.
And I guarantee there's people out there that still think that today. But, man, I'm telling you, it's awesome to have a world where everybody can kind of speak their piece and be supported.
Those last 20 games too, Scotty, when most of the starters weren't on the floor, but they were still supporting the rest of that team, tells you, again, a lot about their whole personality. And, some guys could just slough it off and say not come out. And maybe, they didn't have to show up to the arena.
Yeah.
But on their own, they were totally engaged, and they were kind of another storyline of just entertaining us, the fan, and even on TV, because Joe and JB did a great job on cutaways. But, the emotions of the success of some of the guys they're competing against actually was kind of refreshing.
They got technical.
Yeah.
Remember? They got technical for excessive celebration.
Yeah, excessive or on the floor, down the corner, whatever. I don't know if it's Collier or Keontae or both.
And Scotty, you've been around so many teams in your position, but, you can tell the teams that are really cohesive because you watch them travel, interact. This team, man, from a distance, they passed all that. And I think that's been, of all the things that happened the last few years, this team coming together and being one going into this next season is exciting.
There's a little bit of Oklahoma City here because what you see after every win, and there's been plenty, or the Thunder, is that when one player is interviewed, the entire team huddles around the one individual asked to do the postgame. And so they share the moment. Is it a little bit of college? I think so, Tim, right? But it tells you a lot about the journey, and they're still young, and they're one of the toughest, I thought, personally this year, the toughest team that I saw, and the most consistent and the most hellish defensive team that is just Lugan Dort, my gosh. Just Caruso comes over.
Bite your kneecap.
Yeah, he would. But that to me, and what Boston did 2 years ago to win it, and, I remember Carl and John and Jerry always said, getting back, just making one NBA final is a task. Going back twice is another. But think about winning two. MJ knows about that. The Lakers know it with Magic and the Riley and Showtime. But Oklahoma City's on the verge of, again, some history here. And I think what I saw this year, they were the best team in the NBA. Both sides of the ball, because they come at you in waves. And you guys were talking earlier about depth. That's where Minnesota's wearing out.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great point. And Detroit's young. I'm not sure if they understand what it takes to get to that next level, but they've got talent. And 2 years ago, worst team in the league.
Physical, too. Think about Duran that first time he went out there to Detroit this year, and he just dunked on the whole team all night.
Yeah, all night. And San Antonio now with Wembanyama, can one guy carry a team? There's some nice pieces there, but again, I'm not sure they got enough horsepower. You guys were discussing how many games. I could see that one going 6 or 7, easy.
Really?
Down the stretch.
With the Spurs?
Yeah.
And OKC?
Yeah.
I would love to see it. I'd love to be wrong on that 19.5.
But
taking the under.
You know what? It comes down to home court, which OKC will have. It comes down to health and injury. And so far, OKC's been able to kind of sidestep any issue this year.
We'll wrap things up. Coming up next, Craig Bolerjack in studio. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The best radio in Utah is right here. This is Scotty G and the coach, Tim LaComb, on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Wrapping up another edition of the show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Hey, make sure to join us coming up on Monday as we'll be talking about the Jazz and their top 3 draft pick at RGS Exteriors from 10 to 2.
I see you working.
4235 Farm Road in West Jordan. Tim and the crew ready to help you out.
Yeah, you're laying out the good time vibe.
Well, he can do it because he's, I can't. I've been too positive and it's cost us.
How much time? We got 3 minutes, 4 minutes?
Yeah, 4 minutes, yeah.
So let's say it's 3, number 3. So who is that pick?
It's not Boozer. It's Caleb Wilson.
Okay, Caleb Wilson. Do
you agree with that?
Oh, yeah. I do believe there is. I just read a couple articles. He's starting to really fly up.
Yeah.
And, you know, people talk about, do you draft position? Do you position anything no more, guys?
Yeah.
Here's the take real quick.
It is all about guys that can flat out ball, but with a premium on length, freakish length and freakish size, and the ability to do such, right, at those sizes and wingspan.
Wilson is a special two-way prospect, stands 6'10". He's a defensive Swiss Army knife that gets excited about locking down opponents. That's the key here. He gets excited about being a defender.
Honestly, if the Jazz are at 2, I might take him ahead of Darren Peterson. I'm a huge Caleb Wilson
It goes
fan.
into but I right there again, like we don't know what we don't know.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I know.
But because if Peterson's right, I mean, I've heard comparisons to Kobe. Right.
Yeah.
So let's do all our due diligence. But I'm with you. Like, to me, the only reason guys get slotted is because people put them there.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And the draft will do what the draft does. So I wouldn't be surprised, Scotty, to see somebody, he maybe even pass Boozer up, because Boozer's your guy. Like last year, Conca-Nipple was.
Oh.
I mean, he was playing at a great level, and I was like, I've never seen a guy shoot the ball like that in a draft film. But everybody I talked to within the league said, "Hey, man, he's about where he's going to be." And I've always made the argument, well, what's wrong with that?
Yeah.
I mean, because it takes some guys 3 years to get there. But the point is, there's obviously more growth in other prospects. And so I kind of feel the same about Boozer. I think Boozer will lock in and be, but he lacks some athleticism and lateral quickness he's going to need for the rigors of this league.
Word on Boozer, he's an analytical darling.
Oh, yeah. Nerds love him.
And they say he's the safest pick and potentially could be a top 10 player for years. Getting back to Caleb Wilson, not only is he a Swiss Army knife, but offensively he's terror in transition at his size. The thing is, if they take him, 6'10", then you start loading up a lot of bigs on this Jazz roster, and that may impact with Kessler, that may impact the future of Flip. Again, that's down to our pay grade to decide some of those things. But also it comes down to pay, what Keontae's contract will be, what offers Walker actually receives. It's going to be an intriguing summer. We say that every year, right? But this one just has a real intriguing, from May 10 until the draft night and then free agency. Man, it's going to be exciting.
I can't wait. All right, so the lottery coming up Sunday at 1 o'clock. We will be on the air. Ben Anderson will be on the air coming up Sunday at 1 o'clock. And if the Jazz get into the top 3, then a lot of us are going to be on the air. If not, if they draft an 8, then we're going to shut it down pretty quick. So there you go.
So if you hear Ben and you miss the announcement, just like
you can tell in the voice and how quickly we wrap things
else?
up.
Okay,
look, we'll take one commercial break. Back after this. See you Monday.
Yeah, see you Monday.
Jazz pick 8th.
Yep, and we're done. All right. Bowler, thanks for coming in, man. We appreciate it.
Hey, Lloyd made the offer. I said, let's roll. And it's fun to be back in, the Triad Center. It's fun.
It's changed a bit since you were last year.
I don't even recognize the place. I couldn't even park downstairs. It's like a barricade.
Oh, yeah.
Absolute legend, right? Right here.
Yeah. No. Hey, look.
As what he's done for a job.
It's longevity. You stick around long enough.
No, I'm saying as a person, too.
Yes.
And that's hard to do, my guy.
Appreciate you, pal. You're the best.
Well, I will say.
Scotty and I tell you, do you remember real quick when that lady came in the other long time ago and did some waxing?
I remember that.
Aren't you glad I brought that up just before you close the show out?
Yeah.
Is that how you used to get your hair cut?
No, but she was sticking stuff up noses, ears, everything.
It was like, look what men can do now. And Scotty decided to, offer himself up, and I tell you, we cried, and he cried literally.
Yeah, it hurt. It hurt bad.
And that was one fun live set. It was a great live segment.
It was a lot like 40-Year-Old Virgin. Yeah.
Scotty, I tell you, there classic moments with this man right there.
We had some fun.
Oh my gosh.
We can't get away with a lot of that now, and frankly, we didn't get away with it back then either.
All media members.
We tried, but not for long.
Yeah. All media members, like all people, are not created, the same. So we're grateful for the ones that are actually sane.
Yeah.
That's why you're so cool, Bowler.
Thanks, pal.
Coming up next, it is Jake and Ben right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses for a limited time. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
I'm here on the job site with Dale, who's a framing contractor.
Hey, good morning.
Dale traded up to Geico Commercial Auto Insurance for all his business vehicles. We're here where he needs us most.
Yep, they sure are.
We make it easy for him to save on all his insurance needs, all in one place, with coverage that fits his business and bottom line. Oh, I shouldn't have looked down.
It's all right.
We're so far up here.
Look at me. Take a deep breath.
No, I'm good. So good.
Get a commercial auto insurance quote today at geico.com and see how much you could save. It feels good to Geico.